So this is going to be weird because I have to go piss. I've started recording, but I just need to let you know that your armor classes turned me to drink.
That's okay, I'm drinking too. We can all drink together.
Reynolds said piss break, and I thought that was a splendid idea. BRB.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
call, everyone.
I'm sorry!
Hey, can you guys hear me clearly? Since I'm using my, I'm not using my headset.
Yeah, I think you're fine. I might need to turn you up a little bit. Oh, you're up all the way. What do you want?
I'm also bringing you presents.
Oh, cool! I love underwear.
Yeah, and a t-shirt.
Bye. Nah. No, our characters would never do that.
Our characters are in Lefebvre.
It's all about the anticipation.
So when we last left off, the party
Which isn't back yet, but
That's
go.
fine.
Recently.
The party had learned the dark, terrible truth that most of their lives are a lie, and that by awakening the Creator, they will be able to undo the tendrils of unseen puppetry that move everyone and everything in this world.
Of course, we might also destroy our patron.
Oh,
They'll cease to exist.
there's no
They don't really
maybe on
exist
that. They will be destroyed.
Interesting.
Let me eliminate the maybe on that. They will all cease to exist. The four major deities that hold this world together will just poof, gone.
Well, I'm really glad I didn't take that feat.
They'll puff away in a cloud of obsolescence. One second, I have to go lock my door.
It's a good thing to do. I need to clean my glasses.
That feeling when you go to lock your door, but that sucker's already locked.
And you're like, good job, past me.
Oh, hey! Who was examining that holy symbol of Hextor? Oh, hold. I have, give me an intelligence roll.
I fail it.
Did you even roll?
No.
You can roll
Should
higher
I?
than a 10. This is a memory roll, so you don't have to roll particularly high.
A 16.
You see, you look at a -1 and you're like, oh geez, how am I gonna succeed this -1 d20 roll? Have a little faith.
I have no faith.
Shit, Clem.
God, God.
You actually recognize it. Selena's dress was emblazoned with this mark upon it.
Interesting.
It was weaved into the pattern of her dress many times. You didn't notice it then because it was just a...
I didn't get very close to her.
Not only that, but it was a grasping fist holding arrows and just like fucking whatever. That could exist anywhere. That could mean anything. And then you're like, oh hey, this is Hextor. And Gemma's like, yeah, fucking Hextor. And you're like, oh wait, I remember this. Oh fuck.
This guy.
This fucking asshole. Alright, I should comment that Gemma has some amount of respect for Hextor, but he finds Hextor very much like his followers to be deluded by the presence of the opposition. Like, Hextor might be lawful evil, but he almost exists entirely to spite his brother Hyronius, which means that he is constantly distracted from a greater cause. He's just fighting because that guy is fighting.
Hi, monster. Thank you for opening the door that was closed.
Well, Whereas Gemma is like, no, I'm fighting to take over Septemport because fucking I'm gonna save this planet even if I have to choke the shit out of it. Hextor is like, I'm just fighting because my brother is fighting and I don't like him.
I can respect both.
In the same way that like Gemma's followers fight Marduk's followers just because their dads had a slap fight 700 years ago.
My dad can beat up your dad. Oh really?
Yeah, quite literally. And Gemma finds the whole rivalry to be sort of like pedantic, pedestrian, and childish, but like fucking mortals, am I right?
They need something to do with their short lives.
I guess. If they must, but couldn't they choose something perhaps a little more important? And that's his basic attitude towards Hextor as a whole. Just like he's a god, but couldn't he spend his time doing something more important?
I'm gonna hang on to it.
Hey, why not?
Why
Symbol's
not?
a holy symbol. It turns away a vampire, am I right? You don't even have to believe in it. You just have to hold it up.
Oh, I thought you did have to.
Fuck
Believe in
no,
it.
dude.
All you have to believe is that it'll turn away a vampire.
I could believe in that.
You don't even have to believe in that in this world.
Oh, good. Okay.
Like, a symbol of
Hold
faith
your tongue,
is
then.
simply just like anathema to a vampire and other similar creatures. Just like, ah, fuck, religion. Ah, Christ. Don't give me the pamphlet. And you was just like, you were holding a trembling hand, extending a pamphlet of like, Hog's Watch. And it's like, ah, fuck, no, get it away. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Hogfather? No!
So just so everyone knows, everything in the keeping section of the treasure is in the bag of holding currently. Let me know if you want to carry any of that yourself.
Okie dokie.
Can you calculate the weight of the bag of holding?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a bag of holding 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I usually don't care so much about the volume because just like fuck that.
But the weight just went down a lot.
Why? What had been in it? What had been in it that was a problem?
All that crap that we're just selling.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because it can only hold 250 pounds.
It's definitely less than that.
Oh yeah.
Just remember
how
the
much-
weight of copper coins, though.
Yeah, we dumped those all in the in the vault.
Oh,
We divided that shit up.
One of these days we're gonna go in there with some paper rollers and just go to town, but fate of Septemport first.
Yeah, I think that the that Holt was putting stuff in the bag of holding when we didn't have the music box.
Yep.
And so
Right.
all that left
Right.
stuff from then.
Okay, that's sensible.
So the various denominations of coinage, the 28,000 pieces of copper are in our
How much
vault.
is that actually worth? Like 280 gold, maybe, or 28?
Give me a second.
Also, how many pieces is that total? 28500?
I think
All of the
one-
coinage is, if you just scroll up a little bit.
There we go. Yeah, I did find it. Thank you.
I think it's 100 copper to a gold, right? Or is it?
Yes.
No,
Correct.
It's 10.
It's
Wait, it's
only
100?
It's only
It's 10 copper to a silver.
right,
Yep.
but 100 copper to a gold.
Okay, yes.
Also,
Yes.
I should let you know that's 570 pounds of copper pieces.
I can pick that up.
But the bag can't.
The bag cannot. No, you're right. That has to go into the music box.
I'm assuming that you just borrowed a tarp and just set it on the floor and put all the treasure on it and just had haul it through the magic music box portal. Just dumped it.
Can't
in
we
the
just
vault.
open the portal in the floor and just kick it in?
Unfortunately, not. If only it were so
Then-
simple.
Yes, I will do that.
We can use the bag of holding as a scoop.
Oh, come on. I've got like other shit in there. It's gonna come out all over the place.
Also,
my
for the
rope.
sake of simplicity, bag of holdings don't burst.
Thank you.
If you try to
Actually,
put
no,
more
one-
shit in there, they just sort of fall out. That
One
being
thing we
said, the
definitely want to
portable
carry in
hole-
the bag of holding. Shovel. We need a shovel.
I do not have a shovel. We should acquire one, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Also, of course, the bag of
I
holding,
might have a little trowel.
that is not good enough.
No, we need like a big snow shovel.
I mean, just use my shield. It's round.
It'll actually work the best. Also, if you put a portable hole in a bag of holding or the other way around, yes, it blows up everything.
Tears a hole in the space-time continuum.
I got rid of portable holes, so that couldn't happen in my game.
That's
They
not a
don't
bad
exist.
I actually like portable holes better than bags of holding, to tell you the truth.
Well,
Just,
only
stuff.
because you can do the cartoon thing of just like throwing it on the wall and then going through.
They're just fun.
They're pretty fun.
Hey, people that can do stuff with magic.
Yeah.
What do these eye patches do?
What's the name?
I
of
put
it?
on one of the eye patches.
You know, I'll tell you if you do anything by putting it on.
It's a
Pirate's eye patch. Yeah, I got it.
Pirates
Yeah,
eye
Pirate's eye
patches,
patch.
2 of them.
So you put it on, and you discover no obvious effect.
It makes me look like a pirate, Holt.
It does.
All right, 39.
This thing gives you a +2 bonus on swim and climb checks. In addition, once per day, you can either use Touch of the Sea or Expeditious Retreat. Once per day. At a second level... What? That doesn't make any sense. Fuck that. I'll say it uses your class level as its caster level. Because that makes more sense than giving it a fucking 2 caster level. Fuck that.
Well, Expeditious Retreat is not a bad spell, if I recall.
It's not really. That being said, you do have to wear this stupid eye patch all over the place, and it makes you because Septemport has no ocean. It makes you look like a sky pirate, which kind of makes you look like a moron. Like, I'm sorry,
I think it
Clem.
makes it look great.
This does not look good on you, nor does it look good on any of you. That being said, so Touch of the Sea turns your fingers and feet into sort of flippers, granting you a swim speed of 30 feet and a +8 bonus on swim checks.
Clem turns a Touch of the Sea on, and flaps all around.
Oh, that's really gross.
It's pretty fucking disgusting. Like that episode of Doug where they discovered Skunky Beaumont has fucking webbed feet.
Holt, this actually might be fucking useful to you. I mean,
You want to see me flopping around?
No, fuck that. This spell, it's pretty good for moving around. If it's going to last for you for a little while, and essentially will double your speed. Your running speed, your moving speed. So I mean, and it increases your jumping ability. So it's not a waste of time. It's not terribly useful to me because I can fly. But you'll be able to run as fast as I can fly.
That's interesting.
I'm about to say, Expeditious Retreat does not require you to move away from anyone. That is just like a reference to what it is generally used for.
Yeah.
What about the other one?
Oh, they're both the same thing. They're both Pirate's eye patches.
Maybe we should sell the other one. Clem, do you want it?
No, thank you. It was just fun to goof around with for a minute.
I'll hang on to it. Should be.
and frankly, you're the only one of us who can really pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, Holt, it kind of pulls your appearance in a couple of different directions, but of the 3 of you, it works the least worst on you. That being said, Toby is obviously the worst. Have you ever seen a goat with an eye patch? Dumb as fuck.
Don't make me draw it and prove you wrong. Alright, how much is that? 2,600?
Oh,
Okay.
Holt, for doing your homework, you get 10,008 experience points.
Thank you, Mr. DM, sir.
You're welcome, because the rest of you didn't tell me what your plans were, so now I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing. Not that I'd take much time to plan in the first place. I don't remember that.
I did.
Didn't happen.
Look at your chat.
Already forgot.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Just look at it. The most recent messages. I told you what I was doing.
I have no recollection.
I'm going to add 2,600 GP to the consortium funds.
You responded to me.
I did? I have no recollection of this.
I didn't do my homework even remotely.
You see, Pidge admits it. The only thing that I remember doing is talking about like what Kira's drawbacks and bonuses are worth. Oh, and I should mention for the audience's sake that Solandra channeling the spirit of Kira to kiss the dying true ghost of Marduk has had #effects. And now,
Womp womp.
and now Solandra is more charismatic and more attractive and has other unseen mental problems that have yet to manifest themselves. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Well, I'm giving Holt experience points because I like Holt. And fuck you guys.
And because I did all that fucking math for the treasure.
Holt did do all the
That's
fucking
true.
math.
You know how hard that is with 9 intelligence?
There were a lot of notes taken. You don't know how much parchment he used.
I just used the fabricator as a glorified printer to refill my journal. Which is really the MVP of the campaign.
The
Yeah,
journal
the
or
fabricator is
replicator?
very useful.
The journal.
Oh,
We use it all the time.
this is true. All right. Where to now, fuckers? I should mention the fabric of the dungeon is like falling to pieces. Not like quickly, not like, oh god, the dungeon's gonna explode, but like the elemental seals are breaking and like golems are self-destructing.
We should really get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's pretty clear that things are just sort of breaking down.
So you don't recall me saying that, but I mean, pretty much I have to spend some time hitting the books.
No.
Because I got new spells and I have to write them down.
I have no recollection of this. Yeah, but like the major question I meant to ask is, are you guys going topside or are you guys going deeper down?
Top side.
Top side.
Because I just wanted a basic idea of where the fuck you guys were going. Because as far as I was
There's no
concerned, it
reason
was
for
a
us to go
50-50.
down.
There's every reason for you to go down. There's dragons and
Not
mind
right
flayers
now.
and beholders and drow. You guys could like very easily die going down there. Why not?
So
For that reason.
Oh,
as long
shit.
as we're down here, we're not going to be easily found by simple scrying. If I recall correctly, teleportation, scrying, it's all pretty much impossible while we're here, right?
It's very difficult. You need to find an advanced diviner or generalist to be able to do it properly.
So as soon as we go back up, we're potentially back on the fucking radar.
This is true.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
Also, now you guys have an artifact in your possession.
Grub talks about it all the time. I don't really know what it is. But anyway.
Yeah, they're way above our radar. What does that mean? It means they're out there.
Well, I mean, we could spend a few days in the city and make our decisions then.
I don't think there's any point in going deeper into the Underdark unless we have a Scion of Marduk. Not to mention the key.
Well, there are a couple other things we can do down there.
Like what?
The control room's down there.
Can't we won't be able to get into the control room without the keys, right?
No.
You can't get into the creator's chamber without the keys. The control room is down there.
Oh. What do we need? Look, remind me what we need it for.
We haven't made up our minds. It's one of the plans, the Dogo's plan, frankly. Is that we take help from the fucking bugs. And that was the help the bugs gave us. Told us how to take control over this Septemport as a vessel. Now, I'm not sure what that really means in terms of what sort of collateral damage you get if this whole fucking mountain takes off. So, I'm just raising the point that was one of our things that we were looking into.
It seems really risky.
Yeah, all the options are so good, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got control panel, blast whole fucking mountain off the planet. We've got let's bring a horde of dragons on into fucking September. We have gung ho. Let's get everyone together and fight the fight against the demons from hell. And then of course there's the one where, oh yeah, let's get the ability to manipulate reality in any fucking way we want to, which could not possibly go wrong.
No, of course not.
You know, out of all of those options, the dragons are looking pretty good, aren't they?
You
Well,
guys talk shit about the dragons, but like they're the if all of these plans were to go wrong, the dragons would be the easiest one to deal with.
Holt just kind of shrugs.
there's a part of me that really likes Kira's plan, and I suppose that is why she fucking picked me. I mean, for people to deal with this problem on their own, instead of bringing in powerful outside forces, means that we're empowering people. Of course, it's also going to fucking kill a lot of people, which is the thing I'm struggling with. But a lot of people might die no matter what. At least this way, we're doing it. It's us. It's not like we're under the thumbs of the fucking dragons, or we're blasting off into space, or reality becomes whatever the fuck reality becomes when those keys are used.
It sounds pretty nice when you say it that way, and you make some good points, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that plan when everyone that we would go to get forces to help us fight is already falling apart.
Well, that means that we have work to do no matter what. Our work there is to prevent things from falling apart. Which is admittedly not really our skill set.
I don't know. I think that trying to unite everyone and empower them to make their own decisions, I mean, that's the problems we ran into in the Hell Jungle. I think that if we're going to unite people, that we should start in District 5.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Stop that war. It's really the only place we can start, I think. But there is one really big fucking problem that I don't know how to solve. You know what that is, Clem?
Mm-mm.
Your ex.
Yeah.
I don't know how to solve that problem. I can't figure it out. Because she can turn our fucking allies into spread. She can spread her fucking poison through the minds of everybody, if I understand how her gifts work.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that even if we fix things in District 5, she can probably just turn it around. And so I've been trying to figure that one out. Do you have any?
I mean,
I'm not dealing with it.
the thing about Myrna is she's a puppet master and she likes to be behind the scenes. She's... If we get rid of the people that she's hiding behind, Joskius and Selena and the ships, then we can corner her, and despite all of her strengths and gifts, she's not very strong.
Yeah, except for the fact that once we corner her, she replays, "Oh, I was misled," and "Oh, won't you protect me?"
Then we're going to need some serious magics to protect us.
Yeah.
Is it something that Kira would be able to help us with?
I talked to her a little bit about it before. I think the last I remember, she said, "Run."
Thanks, Kira. I mean, what we really need to do is go into a rage like Rivo and just not listen and just go crazy.
Well, I think if you've used up your quota of that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and not to mention that having an army of me facing down my ex it just doesn't seem like a good idea to me.
Well, the ensuing orgy would probably lead to her suffocation.
Oh, maybe.
Clementine, make a sense motive roll.
Got it. 28.
28. You recognize that creating more of you to try to fight your ex is a losing battle.
Exactly.
Because you are yourself and you are a part of yourself, if she was able to convince any single part of the myriad you to do anything, the rest of you would go along with it, and oh dear sweet God. No.
That's a no for me.
Nope.
It's a whole lot of nope.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna have to be nice for a while.
It would be super effective.
That's what I was thinking.
Don't listen to her, listen to me while you make a very compelling point. Also, one of those images didn't load, which makes me sad.
Oh. Yeah, I noticed there were only 3 of them.
Let me toss in the 4th.
So if we go up to District 5, go up through District 4, we'll go to District 5, and start this. We're back. We're going to be obvious again to Daskius. So whatever's going on, whatever sort of stuff he's doing, they'll probably figure out that we're active again somewhere else.
Which leads me to wonder, is it really our best option to continue to hide from Daskius? I mean, all we're giving him is more time to accumulate power.
Well, that's the reason why we try to throw him up against Drax. Keep that from happening. And I think that the other part of it was we're trying to give Vendrese some time to come up with her Uber Dreadnought killer, right?
Yeah.
And disease. We need to get them away from his temple.
Yeah. So, one thing that we can do going down, and again, I'm not saying we should, because it sounds like it's gonna be fucking awful. But we could probably travel to the graveyard from the bottom. And that would mean we'd skip a lot of the hurdles there. Maybe we can, I don't know. If we cut the strings on Drax, that might make a big difference.
Oh yeah.
That was the other thing we were. I mean, those are the reasons why we were about going. It's gonna fucking suck no matter what we do. But we were thinking of going down because the control room, because of the
vampire courts.
vampires, and because of maybe the maybe at least seeing the dragons and talking. So, sort of 3 of our paths kind of lead in that direction. But I don't know. Are we ready yet?
Are you maniacs thinking of going through the vampire courts? That's not a dissuasive. You shouldn't do that, maniacs. That's a, oh my god, that's so crazy it might just work, maniacs.
I mean, I think we're ready as we'll ever be.
Well, if we do it, if that's the plan, then we burn and make sure we have the right gear for doing this, because it might be a lot harder for us to just waltz from battle to battle the way you have. Do you waltz? Okay, Clementine.
I mean, I dance. I don't waltz.
Soldier, how many ranks do you have in Perform Dance? Like 10?
Nah, something like 6.
6 is still good.
I have it's a plus 10.
Plus 10 total bonus? That'll do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So what do you think? Do you want to go back to the city for at least a little while? Or do you want to go straight up?
I think we should go back to the city at least to let them know we're alive and give you a chance to learn your new spells. But maybe we can talk to them more about the vampire courts.
True. And now that you know your way into... Fuck, did I name the Catman City?
Yes, you did. It is. 1 second. Zrora.
Zrora. And now that you know the way to Zrora, you'll be able to find your way back down.
Any chance to perform sing is a class skill for me because I'm a scion of Kira?
What's a class skill?
Perform sing?
No, but perform sexual acts is.
Ah, okay.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I mean, it's still not bad.
I don't know.
Just, eh.
It kind of just is. You're really over
Blood,
the whole
blood.
thing.
It's
What was that?
thematically appropriate.
What was that, Dave?
Nothing.
Also,
I was looking at my perform sing skill, which is +2, and it just looks so sad.
Shut up.
Cap, thank you very much for answering that riddle.
You're welcome.
I
Dark
love
Brotherhood's my favorite.
I love all the Dark Brotherhood door questions.
Yeah.
Because they're all thematically sensible, but just like you would never be able to guess the answer. What's the color of night? Oh, sanguine, of course. I mean, I guess that technically makes sense. Shut up, go in. Anyway. To Zrora then? Or are you going straight up?
To Zrora.
To Zrora. Oh man, I totally fucking... Wait. Hey, there it is. Oh, god damn it. Let me just jump there. Woo! Welcome back to the beautiful underground city.
Yeah.
Not much to report in Zora. It's another booming night/day. Because, this place is inhabited by cats, so, they sleep when they're tired and they work when they're awake. Funny how that fashions. Life in Zora is very lazy. There is not a lot of work to do. Basically, there is more than enough food and resources for everyone to indulge their hedonistic appetites. Jobs include dancer and bartender. You know, when you have a living demigod taking care of your city, fucking who cares?
Who cares? Let's dance.
Yeah. Like, Zorora is an example of one of those civilization games where you built one city and you're like, you know, I can make this work. And that one city is super fucking good. And you don't have to worry about a lot of problems because you only have one city. Someone's like, I'm going to take over all your cities. And you're like, joke's on you, fucko. There's only one. And it's armed to the fucking teeth. Anyway.
All right. Do we see McCavity around anywhere?
Oh, God, no. See McCavity? That's a tall order.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But, yeah, Salandra, as I said, and I will reiterate, Zorora has an awful way of dealing with its, cripples, beggars, and olden types. Like, if you're old, you have one use to catfolk society. To die. Oh, sorry, two. You can die and also show everyone, like, what not to do. Don't be like that crippled asshole. Oops, it's a civilization of hedonists.
Yeah, all right, Salandra.
Fine. Slandra passes out some coin to the people on the outskirts.
All right. Who do we think would be best to talk to here about vampire courts?
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
He knows everything.
If he's around.
Well, if he's around, he'd probably be at his tower, right?
Makes sense to me. Let's check his tower.
The last time you went there, though, he was away.
Well, then someone will be there to tell us he's away.
This is true.
He was someplace insane that they could not understand.
The Heaviside Lair. Yes, it is insane. Yes, you cannot understand it. I brought a little corner of cat heaven to us. Oh, no, please. Have you ever smoked catnip? On catnip? Anyway.
No, but I'd be interested.
No, please. So you go to Deuteronomy's tower. Mistopheles is there, and he's just like, I'm not even gonna... And he just sort of, like, takes a step aside the door and lets you all through.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hi.
I do a little hand wave. With the fingers.
Inside, you can hear some arguing. Oh wow, I found some sweet, sweet fuzzy boys.
Fuzzy boys, fuzzy boys. Beauty loves fuzzy boys.
I like it. So these folks are having a heated conversation in catfolk. You guys don't understand what the fuck they're saying. And Deuteronomy is there, but he's just sitting back and listening. And the discussion between the four of them has become very, very heated. Like, claws are out. People are hissing. There is growling going on. When you guys, if any of you go in through the front door, Deuteronomy sends you a sort of deferential gesture. And unfortunately, due to the language barrier, you don't know exactly what's going on, but, you know, words are heated. You all succeed on your sense motive rolls. This is a very serious discussion that has not necessarily gone seriously wrong, but let's just say it's time for the airing of the grievances. Festivus has come, the poll is out, grievances are being aired, soon it will be time for the feats of strength. Yeah, they're just going at it for a little while, and then, like, you guys sort of have to be patient and sit aside listening to this incessant arguing for, like, seriously 40 minutes. Until eventually, like, you can only be angry for so long. There's not enough adrenaline in the brain to keep you angry for too long. And things sort of start slowing down, and people calm down a little bit, and then Deuteronomy's voice raises up, you know, Voice of Saruman style. The very sound of it was enchantment. Any who gains it against the voice were, you know, considered uncouth by comparison, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, the four of them leave the table, if not happy, then content about whatever resolution had been struck. Clem, do you shapeshift into a cat to wait?
I mean, probably edging around the 30-minute mark, she just gets kind of antsy and starts just quietly wild shaping into different things to entertain herself.
I'm an owl, motherfucker. Anyway, yeah. At which point Deuteronomy waves you in. Pardon
change
me,
back.
my guests.
Oh, it's no problem.
Slandra looks at the spellbook. Yeah.
The four of them were simply vying to be McCavity's apprentice, or successor.
What did McCavity have to say about all that?
Nothing. He will not have a say in the matter.
Because he doesn't want to?
No, because when they are needed, he will be dead.
Fair enough.
No last wishes among cats folk?
Not between him and them.
Fair enough.
If they want to take his place, they'll have to earn it. And at this point, I can see value in all of them, but none of them are yet his equal.
When you say replacement, in his capacity as a thief or as representative of the outside?
He is much more than a thief. You're correct. He is our representative to the outside world, but he's also responsible for bringing me raw magical material components. Difficult, if not impossible, to find in the world below. Simple for him to steal from the world above.
That makes a lot more sense now.
And anything he cannot steal, he acquires enough raw currency with which to purchase it. I will say that is definitely one of the benefits of living under the World Bazaar. Anything can be found there, and no one cares very much where it came from, so long as the price is paid.
I used to take issue with it, but not anymore.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, it seemed to be a bit of a lawless area that you could purchase absolutely anything, but it's so useful. I would hate to be without it. And saying that the things I want to purchase are of more moral value than another's, that's just hypocritical.
Exactly. Besides, I don't take anything more than I need, he says with a sly grin. And that being said, you know that McCavity takes anything that isn't nailed down.
Yep.
He's in it for the shinies.
Loves them.
I agree with that, though I do question exactly your definition of meat.
It's a difficult city to run.
Oh, that wasn't McCavity? That was Deuteronomy.
Oh, yeah, that was what Deuteronomy was saying. McCavity is conspicuously absent.
Oh, okay.
It's not really that conspicuous. He probably went off on the surface to do something. I mean, he's been neglecting his duties for a couple of weeks now. That being said,
There are many shinies accumulated.
Very many.
Yeah.
Also, it's clear that Deuteronomy isn't too worried about that, considering what McCavity brought instead. Just like,
considering how much stuff McCavity's been stealing from us.
exactly. Just like, well,
It's
all right.
not really stealing. I told him he could do it.
Yeah, he's taking his share before we see it.
Exactly. Oh man, this loot is great. It seems a little light though. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Seems totally normal. Seems fine.
I told him the kind of stuff that we needed to save the world, and he could have first pick of the rest.
Exactly. All he's been
Holding to that.
All he's been taking are gems and shiny things. And I mean, like, it was pretty clear that Deuteronomy was not upset when McCavity said, "Hey, I brought some guys who are trying to save the world is in peril, etc., etc., blah, 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 blah. Here's all this important information I was able to figure out instead of stealing things." And Deuteronomy was like, "Yes.
Good boy.
Good boy. Good man."
Good kitty.
That being said, it's kind of like, you guys are learning how to judge the age of catfolk. It's hard, but it's pretty clear that McCavity he's not like on death's door or anything, but he's reaching middle age. And when you reach middle age, you get fucking abandoned by society. If you lose your glamour in catfolk society, you're fucking good as dead.
Good thing he has surface connections.
That's true.
Because that's all the catfolk care about, what's on the surface.
That's also true. When you write, you write.
Oh, we were hoping that you might be able to tell us a little bit more about what's further in the Underdark, if you have the time for our questions.
What exactly do you want to know about?
To the other two.
Clem gives you a nod and a thumbs up.
What can you tell us about the vampire courts? It seems that we are going to be at least crossing their territory, if not continuing our quest there.
I can't speak too much of them. Never had any dealings with them, you understand.
Oh, of course.
The living need nothing from the dead, and they take much more than they'd give anyway. I can tell you what direction they're in, and I can tell you that you would certainly be unwelcome.
That makes sense. We're not vampires.
They'll consort with someone who has resources behind them. If you have a way, an obvious way, to give them a large amount of blood, they'll trade with you. But if you're just the three of you, representing no one, they'll sooner turn you into lunch or turn you into their new followers.
How powerful are they? And how many?
Not as many as you might think. They all need to be fed. It's mostly it's a hierarchical tiered society with ghouls at the bottom, spawn above them, full-blooded vampires above them, and then the very rare countess at the top of each of the seven dynasties.
That sounds like a lot to me.
Oh, it is, but ghouls are no problem, and spawn are easy to deal with. Really, it's only the full-blooded and the royalty you need to worry about. The ghouls are essentially mindless.
There's one thing that we have to figure out: whether or not it's all 7 houses that are pulling the strings on Drax, or if it's just one or a smaller group. Then we'd have something to play with.
No, I'm not an expert, but I would guess just one, or maybe just one that's in charge of that
Because
operation.
if that's the case, then we can play the others. It's going to give whoever's doing it power, ridiculous amount of power.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure that the others would want to end that if that's the case. Problem is we don't have a good method of intelligence. How do we get that information?
I wish we had Sultan here.
Me too.
I don't know if you'd want to do.
No, just to talk to him. I wouldn't shove him into the lion's den.
No, go into the vampire city as an unclaimed vampire and just pretend like nothing is weird. Shouldn't you already know this stuff? Ah, I forgot. What do you mean you forgot? We're literally incapable of forgetting anything. I mean, except for things like emotions and, like, memories.
That's useless, though.
Right, who needs that trash?
Can confirm.
Delete this.
So yeah, if we're going in and the object is to kill all the vampires down there, that might be a little bit too fucking much for us. But if we can get them to do the heavy lifting,
It's only like a shit ton above your pay grade.
Yeah, I don't think going in there guns blazing is a good idea. We mostly just need to find out what kind of control they have over Drax. And how to remove that.
well,
If that would do anything.
it might, but it also might restore Drax to himself. I'm not sure if that's going to be good. I mean, remember, he was the fucking necromancer. He was a power to be reckoned with, not just as like a force of destruction, but as a dark lord.
Solandra, that's something I'm not going to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is Halt upset that the necromancer's minions killed his boyfriend?
And his best friends, yes.
Oh, good.
Well, it means that we can't just casually break their chain because it might screw us. And of course, there's one other fucking elephant, whatever that is, in the room. I look at Holt's bag.
Oh. Do you want to get it out?
I don't know. Big lamppost. The Deuteronomy's with us. Is anyone else in the room?
Yeah.
It's just Deuteronomy, you guys, in like a sort of study with a big table on it.
Can you raise a big fucking award?
Are you asking Deuteronomy?
Yep.
What do you need the ward for?
To prevent like holy artifacts from shining so brightly that everybody in the frickin' Septemport knows about it.
Understood. Just a moment. He leaves, fiddles with some things. There's a sort of like audible humming that fills the house, the tower, like a low grade white noise.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hurts your ears. Put bullets in them. Only way to get rid of it. Just kidding.
Mm.
Holt, maybe I should take them out.
Yeah, I can't touch them. I'm gonna hand you the entire bag of holding.
Yeah, no. Hold, don't touch those.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, come on, it's not that heavy. It's 15 pounds, baby.
Oh god, you're gonna kill her, you maniac.
Holt, your legs are fucking bigger than I am.
Listen, if I could carry those things without bursting into flames, I would. I'm sort of wondering if I might not go outside.
Alright, I yank out one.
I want to know.
And then the armor. Fuck.
Oh man, I can't find the song I'm looking for. There was an albino black sheep flash spoof of "You Can't Touch This" that was "Don't Touch That." Don't touch that. Hands off. No
Yes.
way. I think maybe.
Don't touch that.
It is.
Yay! Don't touch that. Fair point.
What
Like,
fucking year is it?
Halt, I cannot impress enough. Don't touch that.
Okay.
Salandra, you take the armor out of the bag. The armor and swords are crackling with sexual energy. I mean, sexual for you, not so much for the rest of you. Halt, it fills you with nauseous energy.
Oh, great.
Like
Fuck.
it's not that bad. It's just like, oh god, please, no. It's like that feeling you get when imagine a scenario where like some guy killed your wife, just like woke you up and just stabbed her in the throat and said, yeah, I did it. You'll never be able to convince anyone. The cops will never help you, and fucking you'll never see me again. And you're
That's
like,
a familiar sensation.
right, and you're like, well, that fucking sucked. And then later on in the adventure, you go to this dance party and you catch that asshole, grab a drink off of your, out of your hand and fucking chug it. And he's like, what's up, Melvin? And you're like, like that kind of nausea, like a ghost has come back.
That was such an incredibly specific scenario.
I felt it though. I felt it in my body.
That's what it is. It's just like, what? No, the monster is back. Fuck, no, I killed it. No. Back to torment me.
Is it like difficult for me to look at?
Oh, absolutely. Like, but in this scenario, like these are the weapons that killed your god, which are kind of you. So like,
Yeah.
you're feeling secondhand murder anxiety. The only thing that makes you feel safe is that Rivo and no other scion of Marduk is around who would be properly able to wield these things. Because no joke, if these things touch you, all right, you won't die, but holy fuck, will it hurt? Anyway.
Noted.
Anyway.
Fuck.
Welcome to adulthood. I hope you like ibuprofen. But yeah, Deuteronomy takes a look at these and just like a bead of cold sweat slides down his fur. as he instinctively goes over to investigate these shinies. And like, oh, whoo, lordy. Lordy, lordy, lordy Lou. You're dealing with some fucking powerful magic here. And like...
Fuck, look at this rune. Oh, it's fucking beautiful.
That's nice.
This combination of runes right here. Oh, fuck. I didn't know you could bind those together like that. Holy shit.
Oh no, you and Deuteronomy get into it and you just start fawning over these fucking things and like you're like, oh man, they interlaced the enchantments in this fashion, allowing them to properly coexist. That shouldn't
How
be
come these things
possible.
don't fucking explode? They should really just fucking blow up.
Or quite possibly implode. Like seriously, there's so much magic in this equipment that they should just like fucking like the magical power should just consume whatever it's made out of and be like, nope, you're magic now.
You catch Salandra kind of stroking it strangely from time.
Brother,
I kind of lean over to Holt, say, we should just let them have their moment.
Brother is extremely jealous.
Oh yeah, I knew that was coming.
There's just a voice that arises in your mind that simply, you know, it's like, excuse me, are you cheating on me?
No, not. You're my brother. What the fuck are you talking about? It's different.
I deserve to be the most important blade in your life. Leave those pale imitations aside.
What the fuck am I going to do with them? I could barely lift one of them, let alone, like, fucking dual use them. What sort of dick does that? Jeez.
What sort of maniac would do such a thing? What sort of monkey-gripping simpleton, oversized two-weapon fighting taking maniac looked at these swords and said, yeah, I'm going to put one in each hand? I don't know, but he looks really hot in that blue metal armor with those horns. Anyway,
See these small runes here? This is adding keenness to the blade. I know that. I can. What the hell is this fucking thing?
Yeah. Just take a few steps back.
right. So these swords, +5 keen, mercurial, brilliant energy, holy great swords of speed.
Yeah, Salandra has no idea. He's trying to figure out what mercurial is.
Oh, mercurial is not a part. Is not a magical component. It's a part of its construction. Like when you pick up the blade to examine it, and like it's ill-weighted, almost like it's filled with water. But obviously, you would have to put an ungodly amount of water to affect the weight in such a way that it is, and you realize there is actually parts of the blade are hollow and filled
Terminus
with...
est. Terminus est.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Oh, you haven't read the Gene Wolfe Books of the New Sun?
I have not.
Oh, so there's a sword with a channel of mercury in the center. Terminus est.
That is exactly what is happening here.
Gives you a killer downstroke.
Exactly. And that's what the mercury does in this situation as well. Obviously, it's very difficult to construct a sword in that fashion because, like, having parts of it that aren't made of metal is dangerous. But, you know, the craftsmanship here is so absolutely exquisite, and the magical power is so powerful, like, who fucking cares? Basically, the crit chance is unchanged, but the crit multiplier is increased by 1.
Holy crap! I see what they did. Look, this is pattern welded. They actually put the runes on the original strands of metal. Holy fuck! Somebody must have gone blind.
And then the armor, I don't even know what half of those abilities do. I just kept stacking things on there because
Oh, it's a lot.
who cares?
Yeah.
I know, like, invulnerable makes it difficult to destroy, and like I don't even know what vigilant
They can't be
does.
Oh, vigilant is what Jakara has. You, within a certain radius, you get notified if there's enemies near you.
Oh,
I think invulnerable protects you from criticals too.
Nope,
that's
that's
heavy
heavy
fortification.
fortification. Yep.
Oh, it's 4 to 5. Heavy.
I don't even. Do you know what determined does?
Determined. 1 second. Shield or armor with the determination special ability provides the ability to fight on impossible odds. Once per day, when the owner reaches 0 or fewer hit points, the item automatically provides a Breath of Life spell.
Oh. Okay.
Which cures 5d8 points of damage point per caster level.
Obviously, this is a mythic Breath of Life spell, so it's 5d12 instead.
That's all I have to say.
Well, Salandra can wear a plate armor, but it just doesn't seem like it's the best fit for her.
Oh, gracious, no. Like, this thing, it doesn't quite recoil. Like, at the thought of donning it, like, I don't know, something strikes you as crass.
Yeah. Not to mention, it would probably make her distracted.
Very distracted. Also, fun fact: if you are if an effect causes you, if you're wearing the armor and an effect causes you to die, you don't.
Welp.
It does drop your hit points to 0 and then you heal, but just like, I have an extra life, bitch. And like, Halt, as you acquire this information, you're like, oh, that's what happened at the Battle of Seven Winds.
He cheated.
I mean, it's like cheating.
Yeah, it's like, that's cheating.
I'm sure Gemma had some fucking enhanced stuff too.
Yeah, not extra life stuff, because he's not a little bitch.
Well, it's all moot.
On the subject of things I don't say aloud.
Those people,
Think very loudly.
those people are all dead.
Oh yeah, like, Halt, you hear this and you're like, that's a fucking pile of shit! My lord was wronged! He was robbed of his victory! He brought down the death blow, and Marduk said, nah, bitch, maybe next time.
Peace out.
Because, like, similarly, Gemma's falchion was also mercurial. It was a big, fat, mercurial beast. That fucking falchion, should you ever happen to find it.
I still don't get all my bonuses to hit, but it would be a powerful weapon to have in my back pocket.
Oh, baby Jesus. That thing, okay, yes, that thing is powerful, but it in the same way that Gemma might make you do things you don't want to do, the falchion will definitely make you do things you don't want to do. Like, that thing, like, Gemma is like evil but restrained. That falchion, that thing was his worst half. Like, you know what? He'll tell you right now, he's kind of glad he left it behind. He had a new one made, one less cruel.
I'll run my fingernails down the channel of the blade and just whisper, "You guys awake?"
They pulse light in response, a dull glow. Speaking of dying, Halt. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Your sickened has rise to nauseous. Make a fortitude save.
Jesus. 21.
21. You managed to hold your stomach, but like seriously, it like the wave of vomit goes up your throat, and you just force that shit right the fuck back down.
All right, so they're fucking beautiful. They're masterworks of the highest mathematics. What the fuck do we do with them?
You put them back in my bag of holding, maybe.
Bolt, you okay? You look grayer than usual.
No, if you're gonna keep them out, I might have to actually go.
I look over at Deuteronomy. Do you have any ideas?
I assume he's just having some sort of negative reaction.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, about these things. But
I mean, it's a very rare warrior who would be able to use them, but they do have other uses, of course. The simple gravity of their magical power means they are able to disrupt magical things. They'll be able to destroy magical items that were considered indestructible, but were not actually indestructible. Although they are not made of
I glanced
adamantine.
over at Brother worriedly.
So we could use it to break perfect.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
That's an idea.
Of course, I don't know if any of us could actually use it.
Like, that's... well, if you hold your stomach and suffer the worst pain, you could conceivably lift and swing one.
It's possible.
I mean, we've got. Look, we're not the only two people on the planet. There's maybe maybe Lobo could use it.
That's not the stupidest guess in the world, but like
I was thinking Bowman or even Kurgan.
Yeah, but we have the benefit of knowing exactly where Lobo is.
We know where Bowman is.
We've got an idea.
I mean, he's in Wind City.
He's in Wind City. By now,
Yeah, but he's not in our employ.
I mean,
he's in the employ of saving the world.
I mean, Kurgan's kind of worships the wrong. Is kind of not the right camp.
It's
Bowman
close
would be-
enough.
I should mention. I should mention. It becomes rapidly apparent to both Salandra and Deuteronomy that the full enchantments of these weapons and armor are only available when you use them all at once. So, like, as a weapon, if you were to simply wield the greatsword, it would not be +5 keen mercurial brilliant energy holy sword of speed. It'd probably be like a +2 holy greatsword. +2 mercurial holy +2 mercurial holy greatsword. But just like you will still gain the ability to destroy indestructible objects with it, regardless of how many of them you have on or together. Like, that's just the brute force of the artifacts, just like pure magical enchantment power. Like,
I take one of the blades, which is probably taller than I am, and I run through a couple of. I find a clear spot, and I run through a couple of passes. I gather this is not a finesse weapon.
It is not a finesse weapon, and like more so. What's your strength score?
10. Can I even do it?
You can run through a couple of katas, but you have to do it very slowly. And more so, like you try to pick up the pace a little bit, and just like the weight of it overcomes you, because mercurial also doubles the weight of the weapon.
Fuck.
Yeah. So you give a little swing, and it just like sends you flying a little bit.
I can't even wield these things incompetently. I'm a finesse fighter. Give me a dagger or a scimitar or even a fucking rapier, and I'm pretty good. But
that being said,
Great swords, no.
Salandra, do you want to do a brother durability test? Alternatively, Holt, do you want to do a how hard will this hurt test?
I will not do a brother durability.
Acceptable.
Hole.
Let me try to hold it.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
I'd have to test this out.
I hold on. Let me see if is recentering drone a druid spell too.
I think it's a cleric spell.
What are you doing?
Oh, it is a druid spell as well. Can I cast recentering drone?
What in the? Could you say that?
It is one of my
slowly or
favorite
type it?
spells.
It's an excellent spell.
Recentering drone. What the fuck?
It
It's
allows
basically
it
like,
to go
hey,
down
fuck
once.
you for the nausea spell
Oh.
or condition.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right. Before he touches it, just as he's about to touch it, I do reach out, touch the back of his hand, and I'll use my regenerative sinew.
That sounds like a very good idea. Holt, do you pick up the sword like a giant fool?
Yeah.
All right. You pick up the sword. Your entire world turns into one of fire and pain, both literally and figuratively. So you look out to the world upon you. You cannot see further than 10 feet. The rest
Okay.
of the world is eclipsed in a confluence of just raging magical energy. And oh dear God, I'm gonna need a will save and a fortitude save.
Okay, we'll save first. That's going to be a 22.
Ooh,
I
good.
rolled an 18. And then a fortitude save is going to be a 28.
You have the opportunity to like make a full attack action with the weapon if you so desire. I mean, obviously you have nothing to attack, but just like you could make a full round attack with this thing.
Run through a dazzling play action. Sword work.
Sounds good.
See how balanced this thing feels.
It feels so much more balanced to you. What's your strength score?
18.
Yeah, no, like I can wield this. It's heavy, it's big, but you know what? I've held bigger. I've dealt with more shit. I gotta deal with it. I gotta carry a shield all day. This is nothing. I wear full plate for fun, motherfucker. Don't you never forget. And then the soul crushing pain hits you as you take 50 points of holy damage.
Ah!
All right, you have fast healing 5, by the way.
Okay.
So yeah, you do a dazzling display, and then at once the nature, your nature, and the nature of the weapon come into fierce conflict.
Fuck.
And because I hate to put it this way, Holt, but this sword is stronger than you.
No, that's okay.
Like it is an ancient magical artifact that was created as like the not apotheosis, as like the masterwork of a god before he went into a deep slumber, and he wanted to make sure he didn't fuck anything up. As such, like, Holt, I hate to put it to you, but the god that made you in a day. Just, he was looking through the checklist of human souls he had to construct, and he shat out a Holt and said, yep, that'll do the world good. This thing has had more time put into it than you.
That's okay. I'm not insulted. I drop the sword and fall to my knees, hands smoking, probably.
More than your hands are smoking.
Yep.
Whoa. Hey. You're okay.
And so, like...
That was fucking crazy, Holt.
Yeah, it was. I'm never doing that again.
And, oh
Unless
boy,
I really, really have to.
could you feel the power? Holt, you can bring out more of the weapon's strength than than someone else can, because it's simply more awake when you're holding it. In the same way that all three pieces of the equipment are awake when they're together, when you're holding one of these things, it's much more awake, just because it's like, you stepping on my man, step off my man. That being said, unfortunately, most of the enchantment's powers are actively fighting you.
Yeah. It's like it's tailor-made to fight my god and his servants.
Oh,
And I mean, kind of you by comparison. That being said, you can bring out the keen, mercurial, brilliant energy parts of it. Holt, do you know what brilliant energy does?
Passes through armor.
You damn right. Including ghost touch weapons. These things aren't lightsabers, but they're basically fucking lightsabers. Mechanically, they function as lightsabers.
Right. So this thing just turned into a blade of light in my hands and caused a whole bunch of damage.
Tons of damage.
oh fuck, your bones showing here. Yee.
Oh, that was really uncomfortable. How long does the fast healing last?
7 or 8.
Also, unlike
I think it's 8
other
rounds.
Unlike other brilliant energy weapons, these can still harm undead constructs and objects.
Because they are artifacts.
Because they are artifacts. And the cool thing about artifacts is that I can just say it does a thing and just like, if it makes sense, it's just like, yeah, that happens. Also,
Undead.
these weapons, unlike other sort of conventional magical weapons, can deal full
Yeah,
damage to
it rounds.
incorporeal enemies.
What was that, Slandra?
8. It lasts for 8 rounds, so it'll heal 40.
Excellent, thank you.
Oh, that sounds very nice.
It also grows bark parts that are.
Okay.
I should mention that for the most part, your body is undamaged. It was your soul that bore the brunt of the blow. Thankfully, regeneration also works on soul damage or something. Shut up. Don't worry about it.
Don't think about it too hard.
Don't think about it too hard. Like, if you died of, like, how many hit points do you have? Like 250 or something?
234.
If you held this weapon for 5 rounds and subsequently died from holding it for too long, you would keel over and it would look like nothing happened.
Like, sometimes people just fucking die, man.
Right. You would just be a steaming corpse, and if someone, like, cut you apart and did an autopsy, they wouldn't know why you had died.
Now, of course, Holt doesn't have a soul, so how is he getting damaged?
Exactly.
Ooh, fair enough, fair enough.
No, I do have a soul.
It's just
spoken
not
for.
with you, which is part of the problem. Number 1, it's not there, so it can't protect you. And number 2, it belongs to someone that the sword hates, which also is not helping you.
So we learned
I pick
two
up the
things.
sword. I clean off whatever residue is on the hilt.
A good portion of Holt's skin still on the
No,
hilt.
Strangely
It
enough,
just hurt a lot.
like, there's none of Holt's skin, but, like, there is some sort of black residue upon it that is just sort of, like, flaky, like the sort of dried carbon on a sheet pan that you cook muffins on for too long and let it accumulate, and, like, you just gotta scrape it off a little bit. But you pammed the pan real good, so it just sort of falls off, but still, fuck, that's disgusting. Don't touch it and don't eat it. It tastes like ash.
I'll prestidigitate it away.
Oh, was that part of you?
I don't know.
I'm not
That
gonna
hurt.
answer that question.
Yeah, it looked like it did.
Get up and kind of rub my forehead a little bit. So I can hold it for a little while.
That didn't look like a very good.
No, but I mean, if we're ever in a situation where we need to use it, I can.
Well, now we know that.
Yeah.
Thanks for testing that.
I figured we were in a safe place.
Whew. All right.
Well, I'm ready to sleep for 10 years.
Halt! You finally feel exhausted.
It's nice. I kind of missed it.
So, all right, let's put these things back. I absentmindedly give the pommel of of one of the great swords a kiss as I slide it into the bag.
It's not the weirdest thing I've seen you do.
What?
And like when I say crackling with energy, I mean literally. Like any interaction between Solandra and any of the equipment is accompanied by what looks like an uncomfortable shock, but does not seem to be treated as uncomfortable.
At least not in the way you're thinking.
Heyo.
Ew. I lean over to Holt and say, "That's okay. I've seen her do this before. That one time she got high off Whisper and just held brother all night."
You know, speaking of Clementine, if we're going to be spending some... kind of raise an eyebrow.
It's Whisper time.
It might be whisper time. I think we've earned it.
You've earned it. It's time, you know.
Well, if you're gonna do it, it's better to do it here than in enemy territory.
That's what I figure.
We're making smart decisions. Grin.
We sure are.
Oh boy, is it time to do some dank drugs?
Time to do some drugs.
Hopefully
look over
bidding
at-
Deuteronomy.
At Deuteronomy, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do them later this evening when we.
You since you mentioned it, you could offer it to him. I mean, that's
I was
just
about to say, Deuteronomy
That's true.
speaks
If
up.
we did make mention of it, Clem will hold up the Whisper pouch and be like, "I don't know if cats enjoy Whisper, but if hallucinogenic mushrooms are your thing, you're welcome to join us."
And Deuteronomy simply comments, Elijah's whisper. It's been too long. And he reaches into the bag and plucks out a little mushroom and just sort of totters off. And he waves a hand to Solandra.
one second. Before you do that, just one quick
Yes,
question.
you may use my library as you please. No, you may not access any of the restricted books.
Okay.
No, there you go.
Let me see if I can find a magic book name generator.
You can. I use it all the time.
Oh shit, here it is.
It even lets you sort by genre.
Oh, not the one that I found.
Oh, well.
Well,
Sure.
there's also a 5-volume set that I crammed into my knapsack
Ooh.
that I have to look at.
So there are 5 books. So Solandra, when you go to Deuteronomy's library to just sort of like help you mix your formulae, etc., you find 5 books that are restricted. The Keeper's Book, whatever that means, it appears to be Elven in construction. The Incarnated Tome, the Moonlit Lexicon, and then 2 books, one simply labeled Phobia, and the other one simply labeled Ash.
Do I recognize any of these?
You do not.
I was wondering if they were like some legendary type level things.
No, nothing like that, but they do seem very bizarre, and they, like, obviously radiate evident magical power. Especially that book, Ash. But, like, that book radiates power in a dangerous way. Like, the way you look at something as ominous as a nuclear power plant, you just say, oh, yep, that's some power right there.
I stare at the books for a while. I probably put the goggles on to assist me.
And then, of course, there are many others. Soul Manual, Labyrinth, Legacy of Time Lost Memories, Mystery, A Manuscript of Princes, Inertia, Sanguine Hearts, Suspension, The Fancy Codex, The Putrid Handbook, The Ghostly Battle Tome, Nymph, Ledger of the Inception, Netherbane, Oath of Twilight's End, etc., etc.
Oh, enjoy your whisper, guys.
Enjoy your books.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cursed
Come back to
Castles
me.
of Lebanon, A Child's Companion to Magical Plants, Astronomy in the Northwest, Magical Herbs of Western Asia, 1764, Fantastic Beasts.
I do do a combination of detect magic and true sight for this place and see what's interesting.
Ooh, you do find an invisible book. It is clearly labeled mystagogical witchcraft. Huh. Very funny.
Oh, witchcraft. Interesting. I'll set that one aside somewhere. I forget where it is.
You leave it aside and then leave it.
I checked the language actually.
Mystagogical witchcraft is written in. Let me look up a list of languages. There we go. Thank you, linguistic skill. Boggard? It's not in Boggard. I was just commenting that Boggard is a spell. Oh, it's in Fey. I'm sorry. It's definitely in Sylvan.
Oh, okay, easy.
Easy peasy. Clementine. Make a knowledge nature or craft alchemy roll.
You got it. Okay. A 21 for knowledge nature.
Do you have craft alchemy?
I do.
Roll that shit.
A 6.
Well, thank goodness you rolled well on knowledge nature. You're gonna need to give Holt a double dose,
That's understandable.
considering his size and his natural resistance to contaminants.
Makes sense. I brew up that sweet, sweet whisper tea.
Also, I was looking up a series of languages. Are you familiar with the Protean language?
I am not familiar with it.
So, how long would you say it takes for a normal language to sort of like evolve and develop into something that is no longer recognizable by the people who originally spoke it?
Like 1,000 years?
Yeah, because like if you look back at Old English, and I mean like old fucking English, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? What does this even mean?
I don't speak fucking ancient High German.
I don't speak Moonspeak. Protean does that in a year.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, oh, you're speaking 2017 again?
Man, if you ain't streets ahead, you streets behind, man. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it evolves so fast.
So Protean is basically like meme speak.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
What do
You
you-
might remember the language of the old memes, but they're constantly moving forward.
Exactly. Like they no longer make sense anymore. You can reference all these old memes, but nobody cares.
But nobody cares. Like, if you asked me what the main meme was 6 months ago, I couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
But presented with it, I would remember.
Of course. Immediately apprehendable. Impossible to remember.
We're just making all sorts of bad decisions today.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned,
Solandra, do you have a magnifying glass or some other way to magnify your vision?
If I don't have one, I will improvise.
Like a jeweler's lens is not enough magnification to properly read these words. We're talking like wrote your name on a grain of basmati rice levels of small.
Jesus, like, so basically Cap's handwriting. Cap, I was thinking about how small your handwriting is when you were playing your game the other day, and you had done that tiny little doodle of the setup of the cook's wife's room.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it in relation to the words written beside it, and I was like, holy fuck, that's a tiny doodle.
Do the goggles want me to see or?
Good meme. The goggles of true seeing? Unfortunately not. They don't have a zoom function.
I was not gonna say.
They allow you to see the unseen. They do not allow you to zoom into your cyber eyes. Sorry, that's just a little joke. One of my buddies was playing a Street Samurai in a Shadowrun game, and he bought the cheapest cyber eyes possible, and he kept saying I zoom in my cyber eyes, and they had to inform him that they were purely prosthetic and did not actually offer any advantages. Like, he could see with them because he had been blinded previously, but like they didn't allow him to zoom in on anything or give him infravision or any of that shit.
So would normal magnifying glass be effective, or do I need something like eyes of minute seeing?
Like, you need eyes of minute seeing.
Do not contact the consortium just for this.
Well, there's other stuff I want to contact the consortium. Oh, this isn't for what you. This is for something else.
I mean, you could conceivably buy some of those in towns. You know, Deuteronomy might have one lying around. Make a perception roll. So you start looting through this old cat's tower. You accidentally sort of barge in on his bedroom, and he's just sort of like completely insensate, lying on a giant pile of pillows, one arm out, as he just sort of like adjusts the magnification on his own living eyes, apparently, as he brings the hand closer and further away from his face. What in the hell?
It's Discord.
Oh yeah, it's Discord. Discord just took a nosedive.
All right, so everybody heard. Everybody was. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It's fine.
There we go. I'm back.
Good.
Yep.
I'm doing
So,
a speed test to slap Fios.
Baby Jesus, that was pretty intense.
So what is he doing?
He's just sort of like zoning out, like staring at one of his hands, moving it closer to his face and further away. That being said, after a bit of investigation, you find you're able to find a sort of like a closet filled with various magical examination accoutrements, and there's like 8 different series of glasses, and you're like, let me try. Yep, this one with all the little fucking things on it. That's the goggles with my nude skin. Got it. Fucking got 'em. And now you can begin examining the compendium of total world knowledge. Do you begin with volume 1 or do you skip to the end?
I'm looking for an index.
Oh. You silly bitch. There's no index. That is the unfortunate curse of the total compendium of world knowledge. There's no index. You can begin at the beginning, hop around, or try to skip to the end. Unfortunately, you can't find what you're looking for, but it has everything you need. Salandra, you come to the conclusion you may have stumbled upon a very, very cursed item. In a manner of speaking.
Well, I'm just crying.
Like you're skipping around this book and you're just like, no, it's gotta be in here somewhere. Is there a glossary or an index? Just something. Just something. Like the beginning is emblazoned in excruciatingly tiny letters but large compared to the rest. Chapter 1. The beginning. Eventually you find chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. But like these chapters are like
Chapter 5,798.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like, you start skipping around books a little bit and you're just like, oh fuck, are you kidding me? Eventually you come to the conclusion that book 5 is actually empty and book 4 is only filled a third of the way through. And then as you examine it, you realize that the book is still writing itself.
Oh, wow.
Which creates a, an exciting or unpleasant sensation. Take your pick.
I'll scan through the most recent pages and look for any references to Dacius, Selena, or Brub, or any of our any of these significant people in our.
I'm going to roll a D100 and tell you how fortunate your search is. You actually find a section on sort of the ruse being used against Dacius, as you skip around quite a bit, and you find that like he abandoned the siege on Aziz's temple.
I'll bookmark that page. I'll bookmark that page. Wow, look, pieces of paper with glue. Cool.
And then Salandra invented posties.
Well, I was presuming that Deuteronomy had posted notes.
Okay. So you pour me a double dose, Clementine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna down it. I'm gonna hold out my mug and be like, "Come on, I'm a big boy."
All right. But you hold. It's like when you infuse like food with drugs.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I was about to say before Clementine can finish that sentence, halt! You suffer a sudden loss of electrons. No, not literally, of course.
Okay.
But like the cup falls out of your hand as you fail to recognize that the hand is a part of your own body. And like Clementine's astral signature overtakes her physical one as you fall backwards into the infinitude of the abyss. Thankfully, a series of pillows capture your body's fall. Unfortunately, your soul seems to keep tumbling.
Okay. We're gonna ride this out then.
Halt.
If we do
Hmm?
whisper at the same time, can do I follow him down?
I mean, if you want to, but you better hurry up to follow him.
I do.
Clem,
Down that fucking cup.
Clem,
Down the hatch. Down the hatch.
You don't have enough time to make another cup of tea. You'll just have to eat one of the mushrooms.
That's fine. I've done it before.
It's disgusting and barbaric, but goddamn it, when you gotta get high and you gotta get high right the fuck now, sacrifices must be made. Chomp chomp.
How
chomp.
you gotta do it.
Well, we can't drink. We can't eat the magic mushrooms on this continent. They kill us. But the deer can eat the mushrooms. So we had the mushroom. We had the deer eat the mushrooms, and then we drank the deer's piss, and now we're tripping balls.
Humans will always find a way.
They will always find a way. Those poor Norse bastards. When they went to Greenland, that's what happened. They were like, "Fuck, we need our berserker mushrooms to train our berserkers." Fuck, what do we do? And then I don't know, some fucking genius shaman was like, "Hey guys, check this fucking shit out."
This is either madness or brilliance.
Both.
That being said, Pidge and Holt, send me private messages for how you are trying to focus this trip. I'm not saying it will be successful, but it will have an influence. Also, Salandra, so like as I was saying, like you come to the part about Daskis' expedition to the graveyard, and you read an incredibly dry sort of dialogue discussion between Daskius, Perfect, Myrna, and Tori, as they're all arguing exactly what to do about the information that the paladin brought to them. I won't recite the dialogue word for word, and nor are you capable of I don't know. What's your wisdom score? Like 8?
Yeah.
You don't have the mental fortitude to read all this shit out. I'm sorry. It takes a godly mind to be able to read this thing from beginning to end, and more time that exists in your lifetime, quite frankly. But the basic gist you get of it is that, oh yeah, they totally killed that paladin guy. Myrna and Tori are suggesting, Myrna and Tori are suggesting pretty hard, maybe we shouldn't go in there. You know that our armor means nothing to their spirits. And Daskis is like, fuck that, full bore, we'll find the ruins, take the key, and then, we'll be one step closer to goddom. And Perfect also raises a bit of a protest, but it's meek and mild in comparison. Perfect just sort of states the facts that they'd be going up against. But, I do not feel strongly one way or the other, as the phrase goes. In the end, they decide to sort of wait outside and try to detect the wreckage. How much did you pay the consortium for a satisfying wreck?
I thought it was 100. It was a lot.
Yeah,
We did. I thought it was 100,000, maybe.
that sounds.
Sounds right. 'Cause I remember we were like, "Damn, this is a lot for a bluff."
It's a lot for a bluff, but as you read, you're pretty sure it's working very well, because you're also able to some limited degree like dialogue from a book. You can hear what someone is trying. You can hear what someone is thinking. The book, the absolute compendium of total world knowledge is actually written very well, but it's also just very dry. But it's just like Perfect didn't think much of the matter. Perfect didn't think much about anything really. Perfect knew things, and that was enough for Perfect. Perfect didn't like having opinions. Opinions got you killed. Things like that.
I am brother. I got a job for
No. What do you want?
I lay brother over the pages of the book, and all right. Tell me when it's time to turn. I have spell research to do.
It's actually very effective, despite the fact that, Brother is not able... despite the fact that Brother doesn't have eyes and cannot use the lenses, because of the fact that he has a sword and can sort of generate his sight from anywhere, means that so long as you lay him across the page, he's actually able to read a lot of it. That being said, it does require a bit of upkeep because you also have to nudge him along the line. But still, he is able to read more of it than you. And like, what's his wisdom score? Isn't it like 14?
Yeah.
He has a much greater attention span.
He always has, even when his wisdom.
That's true. Meanwhile, to the trippers. Oh, Holt, you're such an idealist.
You knew this.
I did. Unfortunately, Holt, you have company.
Oh, okay.
I will reveal it to both of you because you both see it.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh.
Holt, you have chains now.
Okay.
Clementine, you can either hold onto a chain for dear life and hope getting dashed upon the rocks and tunnels of pandemonium do not kill you, or you can let Holt to his devices.
No, I'm gonna hold on tight.
You are brave and dumb.
Mm-hmm.
This has been long established.
The militia's pride stood for freedom. They were free and dumb. All right, Clementine.
Yes.
You're gonna take 3 points of damage to all of your mental attributes. As your poor little brain gets dashed upon the rocks as you go through the myriad tunnels through pandemonium. Coming out the other side on somewhere on the Outlands. Halt, you're just sort of dragged along. Your body feels like jelly. All you can feel is the wind whipping across your body, tearing your skin to shreds. Thankfully, you have scales, so it's not nearly as painful as it might be for someone like Clementine, who is made out of flesh. And this terrible, cackling beast the whole while, dragging you along. Halt, you find a name for your tormentor.
Oh boy.
Krampus.
No.
No.
And And like as he drags you through the outer plains as quickly as he can, you hear a cry go up into the outland sky that just inquires, "Halt! Have you been a naughty boy?"
I mean, probably.
Now halt. It's poor form to lie to Krampus.
Yes, I've been a horrible person.
That being said, you come out on another side of the Outlands, which plunges you into a fiery inferno. But as it turns out, you have plunged into the underside of some sort of magma pool. The fire harms neither of you. Clementine, you are thankful for this.
Phew.
And as you erupt out the other side, you are met by a familiar figure. No. No, too far. There we go. No, I like this one more. Decisions. Oh, no, wait, we got this. As he is accompanied by his sinister host.
Wow, he's super cool though.
Oh yeah, like his sinister host is holding. He has stepped off what is some sort of large, raised, very impressive, arcane-looking platform. It seems to be some sort of like portable lab. It's a portable lab adorned with a gigantic bell that swings wildly when the thing is moved or jostled, and it is carried by a series of lesser imps and devils, who all seem very, very upset to be there. But you know, it's a living. Am I right?
Right.
And he just looks down at you, Holt, and just says, "You have an audience, sir."
Okay.
Join me, won't you?
Be rude to refuse.
Absolutely. Don't stand there so filled with fear. You have nothing to fear here. Except for perhaps the upstart revolutionary. Oh, and you've brought a +1.
Clementine just raises a hand to wave.
Not unwelcome, but unexpected. In any event. He reaches...
Sorry, we're actually not... We were not intending to come this way. We're actually heading the other direction.
Girl, do not tell me what you intend to do. Do not fill your mouth with such profanities and stupidity. Neither of those things... Neither of... You seem to be suffering the delusion currently that what you want matters. I suggest you alter this attitude. Do I make myself clear?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And he reaches into the very spacious volumes of his cloak and pulls out a candle, which he tosses to Krampus, and Krampus frantically consumes.
Like, eats it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Like, his teeth are white with wax, and his mouth is filled with flame. And he takes a seat on the edge of the sedan chair and just sort of, like, gestures to the rest of it, like, you can go wherever you want, but I have to sit on the edge.
I'm gonna offer Clementine my hand.
Yeah, Clem holds on to your hand and just kind of whispers, it's not usually like this.
Well, this is what we got, so. Are we being invited to all take a seat on the chair?
Yes.
Then yes, I will take a
Um,
seat.
It's not just like a chair; it's a whole platform.
Oh, gotcha.
Like a carriage. Like imagine a carriage, but just an open platform with one large chair, a series of arcane apparatus, a large bell, and a series of other chairs. And
Okay.
as the assorted devils and imps begin to carry it wherever it's meant to be going, the bell starts chiming. Like this gigantic, massive Notre Dame level bell, just bong, bong, bong throughout the Acheronish wastes. Anyway.
I'm just looking around at everything.
Hold, you look upon me with a bit of confusion. Am I incorrect?
No, that's not incorrect, sir.
Good. Good. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Asmodeus, Lord of the Last.
Incline my head, like I'm not looking him in the eyes.
You may raise your eyes to meet mine, though your friend probably should not. You have earned that privilege. Perhaps she will someday. The dismissiveness in his voice is palpable.
I'd prefer not to.
Like it's a wet, marshy thing. Like getting, like literally having mud slung at you.
Well, probably not too bad for Clem.
I mean, it is bad. Clementine, like the wrath of his words weighs you down
Ugh.
with some sort of bizarre physical weight. Clem, it's really hard to think right now, not just because of the journey you've been on, but because the whisper is muddling your mind space. Maybe when you come to, you'll be able to properly understand exactly what's happening. That being said, Clementine, when he said, although your friend would probably never earn the privilege, did you say, and I wouldn't want to, out loud?
Yeah.
Oh boy. That response is met with a swift and crushing backhand. Clementine, you take.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's not a lot of damage. It's 8 physical damage and
Okay.
12 hellfire damage.
Oh.
You may perhaps have been hanging out with Solander too long.
So hellfire. Do you have fire resistance, Clementine?
No.
That's fine. If you did, it wouldn't help you.
Oh, well, I mean, that's encouraging.
Like hellfire burns so hot. Like hellfire.
Have you guys seen Time Bandits?
Yes.
I have.
When I was very small, and I did not enjoy it.
100% pure evil. Pretty much what you just get by.
Yeah. Like fire burns at a rough temperature of like 300 degrees. Hellfire burns at a rough temperature of 3 million degrees. You should only be thankful that it touches you for a mere second.
Oh.
And the cool thing, Clementine, is that the horrible burning of the terrible wound makes it so that you don't bleed.
Instant cauterization.
Exactly. Unfortunately, that's a small benefit in the face of the sheer amount of searing, terrible agony that currently courses through your face.
No luck of nerve damage, so it doesn't actually hurt that much?
Oh no, that's the thing about Hellfire. It's specifically designed to hurt as much as possible.
Oh. Yeah, like I burned my arm when I was making jam this year, and it burned it so hot it just killed the nerve, and I was like, huh, that should have hurt, but it sure didn't. And Mom's like, yeah, that's nerve damage, child.
That's nerve damage. That don't get fixed. You cannot see anything under Asmodeus's flowing robes, but Krampus, I should mention, has cloven hooves. He moves fast for a weird goat fucker.
He's a
I am
goat
now.
fucker?
I am
Where's
now on the
Toby?
floor. The floor is my home now.
I was about to say, Clem, you can choose to stay standing if you wish to be defiant, but getting knocked to the platform is also acceptable.
I mean, just given her stature and general constitution, she definitely gets knocked down by that.
Got
I need
it.
to make a will save.
But she will get up and just glare at him and then sit back down next to Holt.
I'm going to put an arm kind of protectively around you
Oh.
and definitely make eye contact with this guy. I'm trying to keep it together. Succeeding, I believe.
Now then, where was I? Right, introductions. Pardon me.
Right.
Asmodeus, Lord of the Last. I held out the longest against the Dark Interloper's invasion. But even I can be made to see reason, especially at the end of a blade. Anyway.
Bringing me here in chains was thematically appropriate.
Thematically appropriate and sadly necessary. I hate to do it to you, Holt, but unfortunately, we only have one method of conveyance for someone like you.
Fair enough. Aware of my position.
Good. That's what I like about you. That's what he said about you. You understand. You're defiant, strong, mighty. And he glares at Clementine. And unlike some of you, you know your place. We can work with that. And when he says knows your place, like Krampus gives a little giggle.
I shoot a glare at Krampus and give him the finger.
Yep, definitely. It's playing.
You're a bad influence, Salandra!
You are a terrible influence. This child didn't even know what the finger was before she met you.
Krampus accepts the slight with roll sense motive.
An unnatural 20.
He seems to take it well. He doesn't seem to be particularly offended. He treats it with a sort of manic glee. Then again, that's kind of how he treats everything. So, like, in any event. Asmodeus continues. If we had more time to prepare, we would have been able to give you a more luxurious arrival. Unfortunately, we had sheer moments, by your reckoning. You've got to understand.
Oh, I'm in no way offended.
Are you familiar with the phrase damnation seems to last an eternity?
Yes.
We've taken that to heart here. We decided to slow down the localized time dilation such that even those damned who are returned to life still suffer the maximum amount of punishment.
That's a very efficient method.
As such, in the time it took for the cup to reach your lips, we had enough time to deploy Krampus and bring you here. He's very quick, as you can see, and he knows his ways everywhere.
You've gone to a lot of trouble to arrange this meeting, then.
We thought it would be appropriate, given the rarity you would be able to engage with it. You need to understand, Master Holt. The Whisper will have a powerful effect on your mind. Because it is a powerful effect on your soul, and unfortunately, you are missing that at the moment.
Oh. Surely there's easier ways to tell me that the drug wasn't gonna work.
No. Quite the contrary. It's working too powerfully on you.
Oh.
You will suffer immensely when you awaken.
Thank you for the warning.
You're welcome. And he stomps his foot on the platform and glares at Krampus and says, "You see, some are grateful, and others are not." And Krampus actually, like, seems a little scared. Like, he shies away a bit and, like, tucks himself under the platform for a moment, displacing a few imps who get very upset as the platform becomes slightly lopsided, and then he returns to his position, hiding behind a gigantic arcane apparatus for a moment before, like, edging his face out into view. In any event, soon the Infernal Palace will be among us, you'll be among your master, and you'll have a short reprieve to spend in his presence. And then I will continue about my work. Still, Holt, is there anything that you have to ask of me? You deserve that much. You've earned that much.
I don't feel like I've earned any of this. I'm just doing what I have to do.
Hardly, my boy. You take to your task with gusto. So many of Gemma's followers demand something in return. You demand nothing. You're polite, honorable. You ask no more than you've earned. You take no more than you've been given. Among us, that's a valuable commodity. Too many of my followers did not understand the value of the word enough.
I suppose in the light of forces I'm dealing with, being on your good side is probably to my benefit.
True. When you join us someday, it'll be you who holds the blade, and not the one underneath it, as opposed to the other way around.
He kind of like raises an eyebrow at that and appears again very confused.
He pulls a small flask from his side and gestures it to you. Would you care for a nip of liquid pain?
When in Rome.
Oh, well, that's not a good idea.
I'm gonna take the flask.
So do you go for like a full-on swig, a gulp, a sip, a swig, a gulp, a mouthful, a sip, or a nip?
Shot, 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 shot.
A mouthful.
A mouthful. All right, so that's like right in the middle. That's like, a shot.
Yeah.
You let it suffuse your lips, and ooh, that burns so good. And as it goes down your throat, it burns its way through your entire body before it reaches your stomach. Holt, I want you to send me a list of 3 sins that you feel you have committed.
Oh boy.
Not terrible things like, I'm sorry, the amount you have consumed cannot absolve you of the guilt of, like, the destruction of Armstrong, for instance, but, like, just, like, regrets you have, sins you have committed, things that you have done that you feel are wrong. And, I mean, Cap, I know you're a guilt elemental, so this shouldn't be too difficult.
No, it's not too difficult.
Clem, you get the distinct impression that you may have very much fucked up.
Yeah.
You ever get that feeling?
All we wanted to do was just kick back, have some fun, do some hallucinogens, and now we're in hell.
And now we're in hell.
Oops. You forgot about the spiritual link, you bitch.
I did. I'm a fucking moron.
Sins committed.
Several weeks later, Salandra notices her companions haven't returned yet.
Actually, like, because of the time dilation, it will actually be a relatively long trip for them, but no longer for you.
Oh, come on, load. My foolish thing.
Load, damn you.
Load, damn you.
That being said, Clementine, while Holt is experiencing the effects of liquid agony, you suddenly have an attacker.
Oh,
What is your
fuck off.
What is your combat maneuver defense?
My combat maneuver defense is 26.
I have some bad news.
Oh dear.
All of a sudden, Krampus is upon you. He snuck up from behind and wrenches one of your arms away. Which hand did you use to make the arcane gesture?
I'm just trying to think of where I would be. Probably my left hand.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, Pidge is right-handed, and she flips people off with her left hand, so I think Clem does the same.
sounds good. So his neck elongates like some sort of bizarre snake, and like his right arm is around your throat, and one of his legs is locked around your leg. This guy is fucking heavy and strong. More so than that, his teeth are sharp. And as he struggles for control of this grapple, and he's doing a pretty good job of it, he takes your left hand and extends the middle finger. You have 1 round in which to attempt to escape.
Do I have access to my spells?
No.
And
Nor would you be able to cast them while he's grappling you.
he's got an arm around or a hand around my throat?
Yeah, he has an arm around your throat.
Okay. I want to drop my chin and bite him.
You bite him. Unfortunately, he has damage reduction. In addition to that, his fur is disgusting and his skin is hot.
And my teeth are that of an omnivore.
Exactly. Make a fortitude save.
So I rolled a 1, but I have an 18.
Did you roll the natural 1 though?
I did.
I have some bad news.
Oh dear.
Thankfully, your astral form cannot vomit, but that does not stop you from retching as Krampus bites off your middle finger. Oh, there it goes. Swallowing it down as the stub starts bleeding, and as the thing is like flopping around in his mouth and getting tossed between his teeth, getting crushed into smaller pieces and chopped into bits, he just keeps cackling, which just makes the eating process slower. And like as he lets go of you and like writhes on the deck of the platform, like cackling like a hyena, just completely tickled pink at the fabulous prank he has pulled.
Does he still have a hold of me?
No.
Can you wild shape it?
That's a very good question.
Can I? I'm gonna try to.
Fuck no. Clementine, you make a distinct realization. It's not that
Gaia's not here.
Exactly. Just like, you ain't in Kansas anymore. That is an additional complication to being a druid in the Outer Planes. If you get too far from the material one, you can't restore your spells, and a lot of your abilities don't work.
Oh.
That being said, meanwhile, over with Holt, you no longer feel guilt about these acts.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, but here's the thing, though.
All right.
Like, on the one hand, being guilt-free is liberating, but on the flip side, the guilt you felt for performing these actions is the only thing that was stopping you from doing them again.
Yup.
Exactly.
Sociopaths feel no guilt.
Exactly.
That's not good.
It's
That's
not.
good, fam.
It's not good, and it's pretty clear that Asmodeus drinks this shit on the rig. And so you're just like, you know what? I murdered some guys to get out of D6. Whatever. I light a collie every once in a while, but it's for our own good. I burned down Crash Test Place, but it was a pile of filthy drug dealing slime who got me hooked on Giant's Heart, and I don't give a fuck about him. And quite frankly, he deserved it.
Absolutely, he deserved it.
What is Holt's alignment anyway?
Neutral good.
Neutral good, he says now as he slides down the nihilism hole.
Yeah. It's gonna change, probably.
Oh, almost certainly.
But not yet.
No, not yet. You haven't done anything truly despicable.
I'll get back to you.
Right. That being said, Asmodeus takes back his flask of liquid pain, and it is difficult to wrench it out of your hand.
Mm-hmm. I look up at him a little bit embarrassed at that. That's powerful stuff.
Absolutely, Holt. Trust me. I understand.
Thank you.
That being said, he seems completely... You and he both seem strangely oblivious to the terrible thing that has happened to Clementine.
Yeah, she's just, still at my side, right?
Right, she's still there. Everything's fine.
Why wouldn't she still be there?
Something about Asmodeus has strangely transfixed you.
Yeah.
Krampus's cackling laughter is drowned out entirely. Krampus's cackling laughter, as well as Clementine's scream of terrible pain, are just drowned out under the weight and sound of the bell.
It's like tunnel vision.
Exactly. Except for all of your senses, and all you can hear and all you can see is Asmodeus. Let's see if I can find a good image of the Infernal Palace. Oh, holy shit. Oh my god. Fucking got him. Holy fucking shit. Done.
Set the scene for me, baby.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I've got some choices. Holy fuck. Sorry, the first choice that came up was just so fucking good. Towering over the wastes of hell, constantly shadowed by a great blood moon, rises a tower the color of rust, awash and bathed in fire and sin, built in mocking symmetry. From side to side, at the very lowest point of the nine hells, lies Gemma's infernal fortress. The power of the structure is palpable, and Asmodeus himself shies from its might.
I can't help but look up at it, and normal, well-adjusted person might feel horror. And I'm not saying that I don't, but I'm also not saying that I'm smiling right now.
Holt, you're home. On some level, in the same way that crawling into Kali's bed and holding her close makes you feel just so at peace, this tower does almost exactly the same thing.
We'll deconstruct that later.
But
we'll enjoy it now.
We'll deconstruct that never. Never self-analyze. And Asmodeus simply says, "Pardon me, Master Holt. You will have to take the rest of the way on your own. Unfortunately, I am forbidden from entry."
Why is that?
Well, let's just say I was your master's fiercest competition. So, you can understand why I would not be privy to his traps, trials, and tribulations in such a way that you would be accepted.
Oh. Need to make another will save real quick. If I rolled a 19, can I be aware of Clementine?
No.
Okay. Clem Holt's gonna step off of this thing and start to head towards this tower.
Oh dear.
Like the rest of the while, like Krampus has done nothing. He seems to have had his fun. He's had a candle. He's had a finger. He looks fucking fat and happy.
That's nice. Clementine is not happy. She's
What's the matter?
she's
This'll grow
she's-
back.
it's the principle of the thing. And I'm gonna try and he's how tall is he?
Krampus is 11 feet tall.
Oh, okay.
Well, when he rises to his full form, he usually spends most of his time hunched over. But Krampus, as depicted in Christmas mythology, is fucking tall as shit.
Cool.
I know what you're thinking.
holds.
I know what you're thinking. Oh, yep, there he is. That's Krampus, like full wild form. This Krampus is much more sort of like genteel, like the suit and the hair. That being said, you take one look at this guy and you're like, oh, that guy's fucked up. He passes for a human maybe at night and only at first glance. And then you notice the hooves and you're like, wait a minute, what? You notice the hooves and the sound of chains and you realize whatever it is that you passed in the night was not immortal, and, you know, perhaps you should just keep walking because really it's none of your business.
I am gonna grab the chain and try and wrap it around his ankle.
Like, he sees you doing this and just like, he's like, I'm trying to think of a scene, like I'm just thinking of Rictus Erectus, like from Fury Road.
Mhm.
Like, I don't remember what scene exactly it is, but someone tries to do something to him and he's like, you fucking what, mate?
Yeah, I think someone like throws something at him.
No, Max throws a skull at him and he's like, oh fuck, that hurt. But someone else like tries to attack him and he's like, get the fuck away from me. And that is similarly what happens to you. Like as Holt walks towards the infernal tower in just sort of fugue, Asmodeus looks to you and gives a dismissive gesture as you try to like chain up Krampus, and you know how infernal chains work. They grab you, but you can't make them grab the holder. And he just sort of like picks you up and tosses you off of the platform. You're like, I'm gonna wrap this chain around your ankle, and he's like, I'm gonna pick you up and throw you off the platform. And you're like, joke's on you, bitch. There's a chain wrapped around your ankle. And you're like, and you look down, and you're not holding the chain. You're like, wait, what? And you look down, and your face is coming into contact with dirt, and you're like, wait, what? You take 8 points. You take 8 points of damage as your face slides across the charred volcano glass ridden earth.
Oh Jesus!
I'm going to ask you to make a d20 roll and just tell me what the result is.
Oh, a 5.
Oh, yep, that's an eyeball gone. Yep, that's a missing eyeball. Yep, that shit's gouged the fuck out.
Oh fuck!
You have one functioning eyeball. Praise guy up.
Oh Jesus!
Oh shit, that's Holt over there. You realize now that you've lost your depth perception, as you are met with the terrible infernal agony of the infernal fortress. The terrible eternal agony of the infernal fortress. Holy shit, Clem. I know it's hard for me to properly express the level of fear that you guys face on a daily basis, because you're always going up against like flesh golems and earth elementals and giant things, but like, you know, I fear no man.
But that
This
thing,
it scares
me.
Clementine,
Holt?
do you follow Holt into the infernal fortress? Okay, so
Holt?
you try to call out to him. Halt, make a perception check.
It's already going to be bad. Do I want to give me any additional?
I'll keep the additional modifiers to myself.
Okay, 17.
17. There's something out there, like a mosquito. Annoying.
Probably
more,
just the web.
more like a cat, mewling and mawing. Call it to your side.
If you're going to follow me, come on then. I don't
Okay,
look over
when
my
I-
shoulder or anything.
When I grabbed at the chain, could I not get a hold of it at all?
You could get a hold of the chain, but when you wrapped it around him, like elven rope, no matter how tight you tie the knot, it just comes off when he wants it to.
Because what I want to try and do is chain and use it to wrap around Holt and drag him back.
I mean, no matter what, it didn't work.
Damn.
You were ejected from the stand before you got the opportunity to execute it. And similarly, you were extricated from the chain somehow. Also, holy shit, I didn't know that Pathfinder had a Krampus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, fuck it. Chain demon, it's Krampus. Krampus is hanging out with Asmodeus, just chilling out.
Nah, man, he's real.
No, man.
In Bestiary 6.
Holy fuck. Hello, Krampus. How do... I wouldn't go in that sack. It looks like it's filled with rocks and broken glass. So, Clementine, Holt has called you to him. Do you follow?
No. I don't want to.
You would prefer to brave the plains of hell alone?
I would prefer not to go to the even. I was like, I mean, nothing can be scarier than hell. And then Holt was like, I'm gonna go over to look at this thing. And I'm like, oh, that's scarier than hell.
I want to say it seems more inviting, but I don't want to lie to you. Like, this thing is literally the apotheosis of hell. If you distilled it into a single structure, this would be it. And yet somehow, despite being made of it and being a part of it and being of it, it is still not. It is something else. It is other. Oh, and you know what? Fuck it. Let's go full Symphony of the Night on this one. At the tip of the tower, there is an inversion of the tower. Where it lands, you don't know. It goes through the blood moon, and you're not able to fully recognize exactly how it works or where it's going.
Don't think about it too hard.
Don't think about it too hard. Seriously, it hurts your head.
I'm gonna. I don't have any of my gear on me at all, do I?
Nope. You're just Clementine. You're just Clementine Pastora. You're a little halfling.
Hold, please. Hold, I need you here.
It didn't roll very well.
Oh
An 8 on perception.
Yeah, now we've reached the point of mosquito. Like, won't that incessant thing stop making noise?
no. Oh dear. All right, I have to go after Holt. If I can't guilt him into coming back, I have to go in after him.
No, you don't. You can just.
I mean, staying outside is probably a bad idea. Clementine, even a shattered mind can see that staying out on the plains of hell, unprotected from the winds and terrible forces, is probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up to Holt and grab a hold of him as tight as I can.
You can only hope that the infernal host within is more welcoming than the bastards who brought you here.
I'm gonna keep walking. It's like, oh, what has attached itself to me?
Something.
What does that matter?
It's
Yeah, like Clementine digging her heels in and holding on as hard as she can is
What's your strength score?
10.
That's nice.
It's like when a little kid grabs onto your leg and you just like lift them up and you're like, get off.
kind of like
Mhm.
that. It's also like I'm trying to think that scene in Constantine where like Satan tries to drag Constantine into the portal to hell, but because he is selflessly given up his life for someone else, he gets to go to heaven free. And so his corpse is just too heavy to carry. It's kind of like that, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Clementine,
Yeah.
like, you can't stop him.
The fan art will have this image of like Clementine just desperately holding onto the leg.
Yeah. I mean, that's all she can really reach.
Most people don't fight a Titan head to head, or head to ankle, as the case may be. Halt, you are welcomed at the gates.
Oh. By who or what?
You know what? I got this boy. Let me find another boy. I need two boys.
A boy and a friend.
That's pretty good. Oh, there we go. I like these two. This boy and this boy.
Ooh, big boys.
And one of them looks upon you and scoffs, whereas the one with the trident looks upon the flaming page he possesses and says simply, "You are expected,
I believe I am.
as well as your guest. Welcome."
Guest. I look
Guest.
down.
Are these pet fiends? Pet fiends?
These are pit fiends.
Holy crap!
Like, I'm sorry, like, I can't overstate Gemma's absurd power, especially here. Like, pit fiends as bodyguards, Asmodeus as a messenger. Like, Holt, if you had the mind for politics, and if you were able to properly use it right now, you would understand the grievous insult that was.
So one Glabbers almost killed us all.
Yes.
Literally, we were one additional round of stun, and we would have been dead. And a Glabberzoo is like a baby.
I think pit fiends are a CR21.
Something like that.
I gotta look at pit fiend. I love me some pit fiends. They're some of my favorite boys. Oh, I'm sorry, they're a CR20, 20 even.
But there's variations on them. Like there are more and more pit fiends scaling up to like CR 25, 26.
Baby Jesus.
Yep. So pit fiends grow up into the baby archdevils. So
Yeah. Oh, hey, their organization is solitary, a pair, or a council, which is somewhere between 3 and 9. That being said, you can manipulate a council of pit fiends against each other. This is not the case here.
Oh dear.
And so the one with the axe sort of like looks at you and turns to the one with the page, and the one with the page gives a bit of a shrug, and the one with the axe, with startling speed, rushes forward, and Holt, he just sort of like grabs hold of your head.
Okay.
Just sort of like snarling flecks of virulent flaming spittle wash upon your face. What do you do in the face of this egregious display?
I try to stand as straight as I can. Bare my teeth back. Can I make an intimidate check to stand my ground?
You may make an intimidate.
That's going to be a 23.
23 is pretty good, but you know what would be better?
Hmm.
You need to go further, Holt.
Do I?
You do.
I'm going to reach up to, like... How much bigger than me is he?
This thing is...
Can I, like, put a hand around his wrist?
You could definitely put a hand around his wrist. This thing is pretty big, but he's not that big.
I'm going to put a hand around his wrist and say, unhand me our Lord's time.
Or you'll what?
Certainly you don't want to fight Lord Gemma's scion on the steps of his own house.
Halt, make a wisdom check?
Sure. I fail it. 12.
12's not that bad. You need to stop considering sub-30 numbers failure.
Well, think of what I have to compare myself to.
Fair enough. So you grab onto his wrist and you're standing tall and the realization suddenly strikes you. This should be impossible. This boy is so big and strong. Like...
He could crush me.
Right. But he can't. I don't mean he's not. I mean he can't. And with your hand around his wrist, you realize it doesn't feel like flesh and muscle. It feels like paper and glass.
I'm gonna crush his wrist under my hand.
Well, shit, that just fucking happened.
Yeah.
He drops his axe with a mighty roar, nursing the terrible wound as he lets go, and the other pit fiend cannot stop himself from laughing uproariously.
Oh, that just happened.
And he grabs hold of one of the chains as the other one like writhes in terrible agony. And with a single pull, he lifts the gate of the infernal palace, and with a bow raises the door slightly more to let you in.
I incline my head politely and start to walk inside, completely ignoring the other pit fiend.
Clementine, did that shit just fucking happen, or are you just tripping really hard?
I think I'm just tripping really hard. This has just gone entirely off the fucking rails.
Oops, drugs are scary.
Drugs are great.
Clementine
I
just
missed
closed
this.
her eye.
Blink and you fucking miss it.
Who'd have thought face sliding on a plane made out of glass and fucking obsidian will fucking hurt?
That will fuck your shit up.
This shit will fuck you up.
I'm Clementine. I do hallucinogenic mushrooms, and that never causes any problems for me. And then I did it with Holt.
Yeah, you know, this was a long time coming. We have wanted to do this forever. I didn't realize it would transport us to hell.
Yeah.
This is why we don't listen to any of Holt's suggestions, because some of them are logical, and some of them are too logical.
I mean, hey, I just made it up, but you can't say it doesn't
In
work.
ways that we cannot foresee.
It does work, but oh boy, does Clem wish it hadn't.
I really didn't think that would work. I thought it'd be just staring at the ceiling, pretending to trip balls.
Little did you know.
But little do I know that I have my headphones back on.
Third person omniscient narrator. Little did he know. Fuck, what's the name of that movie? I
Oh
can't
shit.
remember.
Oh, is it the Truman Show?
No, similar. It's got Will Ferrell and Tilda Swinton in it.
Oh yeah, Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction, that's the one.
Oh yeah, the one I haven't watched it.
I really like that movie. Well, he goes to this author, this professor of creative writing at this local university, and he's like, "Hey, I've been hearing this narration, and I'm pretty sure I'm crazy, but I want to know more about how my story is being written from my perspective." And he's like, "All right, fine, whatever." So what does the narration say? And like Will Ferrell goes on to explain all of the myriad different ways in which the narration dictates his life, and he's like, "Yeah, that could just be your internal monologue getting split somewhere, and then explaining to you the things that you're doing and the desires that you want. Like, that makes perfect sense." And he's like, "But it started when she said, 'Little did he know my pocket watch is going to change my life.'" And then the writing professor is like, "Wait, little did he know? Little did he know? That's third person omniscient narrator. If your internal monologue is telling you things that little did you know, then that means you're not crazy. Because it wouldn't be if you were having a psychotic break and you were thinking your internal monologue as a force outside of your control, you wouldn't be able to deliver little did he knows, because you wouldn't be aware of them." And so he starts listing off a series of questions about what sort of store he's in, including the question, which is probably my favorite: "Are you a golem?" "No, I'm not a golem." "Well, aren't you glad to know that you're not a golem?" Anyway, meanwhile, in the halls of the Infernal Palace, like, it's no matter where you go, the political environment is always the same. There are imps running around to and fro, carrying inscribed demon and devil skin. Holt, you can't quite tell the difference because you're not so well versed, but they can. Similarly, some of them are carrying parchment. It is very hot in here, and by hot I mean, Holt, you finally feel comfortable. Clementine, make a fortitude save.
Mother Hubbard. So I rolled another one. For a total of an 18.
Fuck, it's hot in here. You take 10 points of non-lethal damage. You think you are going to dehydrate.
Oh boy.
If exsanguinated is losing all your blood, what's losing all your sweat?
Exsweatinated.
There we go.
I don't think it is.
Shush. Meanwhile, the myriad minor infernal agents give you a wide berth, Holt, as you just sort of like slowly take in the view of this sort of like magnificent infernal structure. It is difficult to like hear the mutterings of the servants over the screams of the damned, who are hung overhead, chained by their ankles to the ceiling, weeping and screaming so high up you can barely hear them. Occasionally a drop of rain falls upon you, but you realize it's not rain. It's tears and sweat and spittle and fear. Holt, are you familiar with the phrase, "War is hell"?
Very.
But it's not true, is it?
War is war and hell is hell.
Exactly. There are innocents in a war. There are no innocents in hell. Well, except for one right now, but you can't quite seem to put your finger on where she might be. No, best not to worry about it.
Best not to worry about it.
And so, like, as you are awash in the sin one of thousands of screaming victims. Well, I mean, is it right to call them victims? You know with certainty, by the very fact that they are here, that on some cosmic level, either because they made a dark bargain or because they were cruel and evil in life, they deserve to be here. And something about that is strangely reassuring.
Just everything in order.
Exactly. There is an orderliness to the universe. Good people are rewarded. Evil people are punished. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be going. I'm just
Oh, you do. Strangely enough. Like,
that's good.
somehow at the crossroads, you can feel the heat pulling you.
I follow.
And, you know, as you rise up through many a myriad stair and cross many a fantastic like inscribed demon skin fresco, like the world around you is aflush with magnificence, opulence, terror, pain, agony, and perhaps a hint of justice. Maybe somewhere buried beneath it all. In this place you will not find a single molecule of mercy. Perhaps you can find an atom of justice. Anyway, you climb the stairs, cross the halls. Devils nod to you.
I'm just drawn forward.
Exactly. Until you come to the skull throne. And you realize you're in the right place.
You're gonna show me a skull throne.
I'm gonna show you a skull throne. Ooh.
Find a good one.
I know just the skull throne. How's about this? Is that a good skull throne? Is that good enough
I
for
remember
you?
showing. That's a great skull throne. How can I be filled with anything? In the truest, most terrifying sense of the word. All-encompassing.
And the being at the top of the throne turns back its hood, revealing, of course, let me see if I can find a good image. Alas, there is but the one. Revealing the visage of Gemma, the lord of the infernal host.
But how far away from the skull am I?
You are about 50 feet away. Between you and him is...
Is it like a set of stairs or something?
No, like a marsh of corpses. Freshly slain. Freshly slain, their spirits still sort of like awash in their mouths, slowly leaking out.
Where does the Sea of Thieves end before his throne?
It ends where you are. You stopped at it.
Okay. On the other side, I mean.
Oh, it stops at the feet of the throne itself.
Okay. Going to approach up to about 30 feet away and take a knee out.
As you raise your right foot to begin walking, he calls out, "Don't step on them. They've suffered enough."
Then I stop right there and bow, my lord.
Halt, you are suddenly struck almost physically by Asmodeus's words. "I have met too many dangerous people who did not know the meaning of the word enough." By all means, approach. But remember what I told you.
Does the Sea of Corpses fill the wall to wall?
What
Or
was
can
that?
I go around? Can I go around?
No, it fills the entire aisle.
Then I shall have to step carefully.
You may step carefully, or you could try to flex your imagination. Which would you prefer to use?
Oh,
Do you trust your body or your spirit? Your choice.
I trust my body. He's given it to me. So,
Very well then. Make an acrobatics check.
big money, big money, big money, big money. Hey! That's 16.
16. That's pretty good. And you realize, like you said, don't step on them. You can move an arm or leg out of the way to gain access to the floor beneath. You just need to be gentle, which is not too difficult for you. Something has climbed onto your shoulders.
Is it particularly heavy?
No.
Okay. Can I look to see what it is?
Why bother?
Okay.
1 second. Clementine is making decisions.
All good decisions, I hope.
Oh dear.
Do you know why I brought you here, Halt?
I think I have some idea.
Tell me. Enlighten me. Because I will admit to you, as I can admit to no one else, that I earnestly don't know.
I feel like I'm being shown what awaits me. But I also feel like this night when I'm taking a moment to seek comfort from what I've seen, what I've been shown, that perhaps you sought something similar.
Yes. Yes, I think so. We're alone here, Holt. You understand that, right?
I nod.
You know how difficult it is to be strong.
Yes. I'm just a man. I'm not a king.
I trust you in a way I trust no one else. And so I must ask a favor of you. Come closer.
I approach.
You stand on the very dais of the throne, and he just sort of like ushers you up.
I take a place at his side.
He sheds a single tear and simply says, "Would you grant me the opportunity to be weak? Please."
Of course.
Thank you. And he just sort of melts away. And the throne is empty. It is inviting. Do you dare sit upon the throne?
No. I simply stand with my hands at my sides and wait.
Hold.
Yes.
Make a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Not a will save?
Not a will save.
A wisdom check. A 6.
Clementine, make a will save. Make a wisdom check.
Let's see. An 18. That's with my penalties.
You can properly read into the situation a little bit more than Holt can right now. Holt's not quite there. You recognize Holt's deference to the Demon King, but you recognize that that Gemma was surrendering the throne for a brief amount of time, and someone needs to sit upon it. You also succeed enough to realize that shouldn't be you. Don't do it. Don't do it, you giant moron. But you need to find some way to convince Holt to sit on the chair.
I'm gonna follow him up, taking the path that he did, walking around and between the people.
It is much easier for you. You have smaller feet.
Little feet. And reach up, take Holt's hand, and guide it down to the arm of the throne.
Holt, make a will save. Clementine, make a strength check.
Okay.
I rolled a natural 20 for a 24.
Oh, wait, no, that's good. Yes, that's good.
13.
13. Well, thankfully, Holt rolled very well, and Pidgey weren't too far behind. So, Clementine, you wrench on Holt's wrist a bit, and Holt, you realize, how many flights of stairs did you walk up? 9. It's quite a few halls. How long has it been since you slept?
Days.
Now is no time for sleep, but best to rest. Take a seat.
I slowly move in front of the throne, lower myself down to take a seat for a brief moment.
You take a deep breath, and you feel, in some small way, that everything is going to be all right. You can feel the sword of Damocles itself hanging over your head as the delicate power balance of all of the 9 hells is constantly rippling and struggling to tear itself apart. And at any point, a revolution the likes of which you could not have imagined and you are not prepared for could come down like an avalanche. But at the same time, right now, you're on the throne. They're not. None of what they want matters. None of the risks or perils strike you. Because you're there and they're not. They can try to strike up at you, but it is so much easier for you to strike down at them. And while you are sat upon it, you can feel where they all are. Dispater is conspiring in the Iron Tower. Asmodeus is giving Krampus a thrashing for suffering the indignity of playing messenger boy for Gemma. Levistus is trapped in ice, wondering when he will feel the soft caress of flesh upon his skin once more, so on and so forth. Until, to your surprise, you are broken from your reverie as a rather oblivious imp has brought in a truly tortured soul. He looks up at you, mind agog in disbelief, alongside the devil alongside the minor devil next to him, and he just sort of like brings the men to you, sort of like expecting that you should know what to do.
I have no clue what to do.
You know what to do. The falchion is nearby, delicately placed against the throne of skulls, waiting. What do you do with it?
I take it.
You pick up the falchion. It throbs with terrible power. What's the name of your sword?
Audra.
It sounds like such a distant thing. Like, you thought you knew what love was. But now that you grasp this in your hand, Audra is a pale imitation. But then again, so is this. It does not possess the spite of the true falchion of the Demon King. But it will have to do. Now that you are wielding it, what do you do with it?
So they've brought before me this tortured being.
Yes. He's actually dressed in finery, his rags having been replaced before being brought before you. He is thin and wretched, weeping and tittering, like hands clasped in prayer but unable to speak in your presence.
Sorry, I just sent you a quickie question.
Going to stand with the falchion in my hands. And I'm going to take a step towards this, I assume, kneeling figure.
Unfortunately, due to the marsh of corpses before you, he has been raised up. The imp is holding him, arms out.
Okay. Look to him. What sort of tortures have they done to this guy?
You examine his body. It is difficult to describe how complex the awfulness is. Upon his body are upon his body are a myriad of wounds. Scars of the lash, burns of the brand. Apparently, at one point, they burned all of his hands away. You know that underneath his rather fine pants, you can tell that his genitals have been removed.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been replaced. And you can tell by the scent on his breath, the final indignity that he suffered was to suffer the swallowing of burning coals.
I look out at the sea of corpses and remember what Gemma had said when I'd entered the throne. To reach up with one hand towards this tortured man. And I'm going to try to smooth some of his hair back off of his grime and blood-soaked face. And just say, I understand. You've had enough. And I'm going to drag the falchion across his throat.
It's all so terribly gentle, and I do mean to mix that verb with that adjective.
Yes.
Just his throat opens up, the blood spills out, and finally he suffers a wound that has consequences. Finally, in some way, despite being dead, he expires. And the look upon his face when you bring this twisted mercy upon him is one of absolute gratitude.
I sit back on the throne.
And he drops to the marsh of corpses below. And the imp looks very confused and just sort of titters away. Holt, you continue to do this for approximately 8 hours.
Okay.
I mean, it's sort of monotonous. Occasionally you get a couple of messages requesting commands and orders, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but you probably just tell them to stand by. Wait a little longer.
Yeah, that's all I feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
Air quotes, comfortable.
Comfortable. There may be a sort of rebellious streak that's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell these guys to go do a thing, but if you do feel that, if you do express that, it just sort of gets quashed by some sort of other piece of attention that's just like, nah, man, nah.
No, it's not the time for that.
That's not you. You don't get to do that. And every once in a while they bring in another corpse. Men, women, no children, various races. Elves, humans, dwarves, cat folk, rat folk, gnomes, goblins, orcs. Oh, lots of orcs. The occasional hell jungle mutant. And to all of them you bring the twisted mercy. And as you look upon the sea, the marsh, it's not a sea, it's just a marsh. It doesn't move or slide. It doesn't cast waves. It just waits. And you realize what they're doing. They're decomposing. They are transubstantiating. In the same way that dying in the material plane brought them here, dying here is sending them someplace else. Where they're going, you don't know, but you do understand that definitionally, no matter where they are heading, it cannot be worse than this.
Hence the gratitude.
Exactly. And then, after a countless amount of time has elapsed. I mean, like, I said 8 hours, but, like, it's hard to count 8 hours when there's no sun, there's no clock, there's no anything to suggest the amount of time that has passed. Simply that time has passed.
Right.
You feel a hand on your shoulder and a sense of gratitude, and then you awaken.
Holy fucking shit. I have made some decisions.
Jesus.
You also finally awaken. Ah, shit, fuck, oh, God. All of the wounds you have suffered in hell are still marked upon your body.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit, there's blood everywhere. There's blood all over the pillows. Ah, fuck, where's my finger?
Hold.
How bad is my hangover, Reynolds?
What hangover?
Oh. Asmodeus said that there would effects.
There would have been, but you passed those on to someone else.
Okay.
Like, you feel the soul-crushing headache reaching out to you, and someone smacks it away. You have done Gemma a solid. Do you think he's gonna let you take any amount of mental damage?
Not today.
Not today, Satan!
I wake up and I'm fine. But sitting up and seeing Clementine.
Yeah, reaching out to you, crying and half blind.
Holt,
Clem?
sorry, Holt, I'm gonna let you finish. You
Yeah.
don't quite have the proper necessary mental faculties to sort of like process
Feel-
that right now.
It's fine. It's fine. Take the reins.
Like you haven't taken any wisdom damage, but your current approximate wisdom is 4.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
You're having a very difficult time sort of associating this world with reality. You're suffering serious disassociation right now. Like,
Gotcha.
you're having a difficult time understanding that you are yourself. You have suffered some serious ego death, and that's not necessarily bad, but Pidge, say it with me now, this shit will fuck you up.
This shit will fuck you up.
Yeah, fuck it then. I'm just staring at the ceiling.
That being said, Clementine, you're in full control of your faculties, and you can try to get Holt's attention, but he's just sort of not there right now.
Clem puts a bloody hand on his face. It's like, hold, are you there? Are you awake?
He regards you with a sort of lazy expression, as in, yes, he recognizes your stimuli, but he doesn't seem to understand it. Holt, you will regain approximately 1 wisdom every minute until you're back up to normal.
It's gonna take me about 5 minutes.
Still, Pidge, prepare for the scariest 5 minutes of your fucking life.
Like, he's fine. He's not hurt like you are. He's breathing normally. He's just not there.
She just doesn't think that. She's like, oh shit, his eyes are open, but he is still He is still there.
Clem, do you want to make a heal check on him?
Yeah. $17.
17. You start checking him out. Holt, you mentioned, he's breathing just fine. Like, you check him out, he's breathing very slow. You determine his heartbeat is approximately 60/40. Very slow.
That's slow.
Fuck it. 60/40 sounds even too high. Like 40/20.
Jesus.
Like the thud. And like you can count the seconds between the heartbeats. And you're like, fam. That being said, as the time passes, like he's not dying. He should be dying. Like if he was gonna start dying, that would have started happening by now. And as you keep track of his pulse and his breathing and like you keep an eye on his eyes for basic brain activity, he slowly sort of comes to until all of his vital functions even out. And like 3 minutes later, Holt, you regard Clem and you're like, oh shit, something happened to her. What's up?
Oh man, what'd I miss?
What I miss?
Oh shit.
What the hell happened to you?
Fucking Krampus happened to you.
I fucked up, Holt.
No.
Yeah, I brought us to hell.
What do you mean you weren't even there?
I was there the whole time.
Oh yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Seems so unimportant though.
I didn't know at the moment.
I know.
Are you missing a finger? He's like taking in your injuries. So you're missing a finger and an eye.
Yeah.
Clem, holy shit, your eye! Puts a hand to the side of your face really gently and... Sorry. I didn't do that, did I?
No. No, I just can't focus enough to fix it.
Let's go find Solandra. She said that her regeneration thing can regrow stuff, right? Yeah, it'll be fine. Come on. Get up. And fuck it. Just leaving my gear in the room.
That's fine.
Scooping up Clementine. And going back to Deuteronomy's tower.
Okay. Sorry, I just found Krampus's stats. And holy fucking shit, Krampus is a motherfucker.
He's a big boy!
He's not just a big boy. Like, okay, if he puts you in his sack, he turns you into a child. Just straight up.
You're a baby now.
Turn into child. And then when you're a child, he can declare you as naughty. And then he gets a +5 on all rolls against you.
Jesus Christ.
Also, if you kill Krampus, he comes back in a year later.
At least you've got a year reprieve.
This is true. And he always holds a grudge against the person who killed him. If a method to disrupt this cycle exists, it has not been discovered by mortals. Fucking
Okay.
Krampus, bro. Get cramped. Holy fucking shit. Well, fuck. And unlike other devils, he's not only immune to fire, he's also immune to cold.
What a bastard.
Because fuck you.
Of course, he's Santa Claus.
Oh, baby Jesus. Jesus Christ. He also has Krampus fear. It's like dragon fear, but for Krampus. That being said, thankfully, there is only one Krampus.
Thank goodness.
Holy
Imagine
shit.
having to make up a plural for Krampus.
Crampy.
I was about to say, it's definitely Crampi, but I don't know what you call a group of Crampi.
Yeah, like a blank of Crampi.
Like I don't know what that is, man. I couldn't even tell you.
Luckily, we'll never have to find out.
Thankfully, that doesn't exist. It's in itself of Yahweh's. So
It would be a naughtiness of Crampi.
I think it's a naughty of Crampi. Or quite possibly a sack of Crampi.
A sack.
Get in the sack. Anyway, so Solandra, you're chilling out in Deuteronomy's library. It's been like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes? Those guys are going to be tripping for hours. You've just started transcribing Unseen Sexual Servant because, dear sweet God, you're going to need a hand here. And then these fucking assholes clatter in through the front door.
Huh?
Cilantro, help!
Holt
What the
looks,
fuck?
Holt looks fine, but Clementine looks like she's been put through the fucking ringer.
What the fuck happened?
She's
It was a
got,
bad trip, okay?
she's got a giant fiery handprint on her face. She's missing her middle finger on her left hand, and it looks like her eye has suffered damage. There's just like a pool of goop where an eyeball is supposed to be. Actually, the more I think about it, like when your eye takes damage, like the membrane that holds the eye to pull apart just sort of. I'm sorry, eye trauma. I'm sorry. Whoopsie daisy. Your eye's all fucked up. All right, done. We're done with eye trauma now.
You can tell me in private message if you want.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh damn, you're actually doing it.
Oh, I heal now. Fuck. I like limber my fingers. Oh crap! I haven't tried doing anything this. All right, let's channel. All right, we can hit channel. And all right, so I can heal up to 4 points of ability score damage from any 2 ability scores. So that's a. And I also can, in addition to the chosen effect, that targets severed body members, broken bones, and ruined organs grow back as per regenerate.
Yep.
So I can do what ability damage do you need healed? Because I remember you took some.
I took
3 to each.
wisdom,
Okay.
charisma, and intelligence damage.
I can heal four of those points. That's 9 points. I'll wisdom first.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'll heal three wisdom and 1 intelligence.
Sounds
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll start regrowing the bits and pieces. Oh man, I'm sorry, Clem. Jeez, what the fuck happened? Who did this?
Oh,
Not me. Not.
Teeth marks. What the fuck?
I thought we were just gonna drink some mushroom juice and get high and look at the ceiling and some lights, and we went to a little farther than that.
Was it something from the Underdark that broke through?
No.
we went to hell.
Yeah, the whole just sort of points down at the floor, like with the guiltiest smile.
You,
Like, you know,
hell?
when you
Well, fine.
when you have a dog that's just shoot up your shoes and you confront him and he looks like he knows he's done something wrong.
She's a fucking druid. Oh. All right. It's gonna take a while for that stuff to grow back. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Krampus is real?
Do you know that Krampus is in hell?
Along with my fucking finger?
Oh shit, you left your finger in hell?
I left my thing.
We'll grow you.
Okay. I flipped off Krampus, and then he
You
ate
did
my
what?
finger.
Oh fuck, girl! You wouldn't have done that before you met me.
You're absolutely right, but I think that you're a good influence. Because holy shit, that fucking hurt. But I think I would have been more upset if I didn't do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you showed him.
You showed Krampus, all right.
Sure showed Krampus.
He certainly didn't get the last laugh.
Nope.
All right, 9 rounds.
Mm.
Also, Asmodeus has quite the fucking backhand.
Krampus.
Remember that.
Did you say Asmodeus?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'll double. Yeah, she knows who Asmodeus is.
You
She wrote-
succeed.
She wrote a research paper on Asmodeus.
What a fucking edgelord you are.
Oh, absolutely.
She's kind of like done extensive research. I rolled a 19 on my knowledge plane, so it's like a 40 or something.
So the way I'm gonna say that is like you were probably toying around with devil worship in your younger days because you were like devils aren't as bad as demons, and Aziz was like, okay, I want a research paper on Asmodeus as your term final, and you were like, fine, I'll do that, and you were like, oh fuck. And remember, Salandra, Asmodeus is like the most reasonable of the devil lords.
All right, Whisper was involved, I guess.
Mhm.
Because you can't astral project on your own yet, right?
No, not yet.
Oh, none of you can. I don't think.
Well, I
Wait,
know
that's just the thing people do?
It was. Whisper was definitely involved, but that's never fucking happened.
He didn't give me that much.
I mean,
Is that essentially Holt's almost like a fucking boating astral plane.
yeah.
Most
was-
people fly, he probably sinks.
There was a bit of falling, yes.
And I held on to him because I did want him to, you don't want to just have someone take their first trip alone, like.
Clementine.
Did Holt go physically?
No,
No.
I don't think so. I just thought we were going to go explore the Underdark and maybe get up to District 4.
That would have been nice. That's what I was expecting.
Well,
But I was told that the whisper affects me a little too well.
Well, fuck, that's what it is?
Yeah, the whole not technically having a soul in my body
Oh,
amplifies it.
yeah, your soul, your actual soul might have been part of what drew you down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, mixing your soul and your consciousness, putting them together. Oh.
Oh,
But your soul isn't here.
So I went to where my soul is.
Exactly.
normally you may not see it, but normally when you're traveling Actually, you have like this thing called a silver cord behind you.
I didn't notice anything like.
Yeah, but fuck, you probably had like a silver zip line almost.
Yeah, when you say it like that.
Uh,
Clementine,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I got distracted by all the fucking books.
I've got a cool eye patch you can wear.
Oh.
Oh,
It
I'm
would
just
be
gonna
bad.
like pet your hair a little bit. I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
I hope I got the color right.
Clem,
My first time regrowing an actual organ.
my bad. Krampus stands at 14 feet tall and weighs well over 1,000 pounds.
Jesus.
He's a big boy. Clem, I'm gonna need you to make a knowledge nature roll.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
these are
got it. Yeah. Knowledge nature, you're the one. You make gaming so much fun. 26.
26. Wait. Krampus. Also,
We're not-
Solandra, what did you get on your Krampus-related rolls?
Oh, I didn't roll Krampus. Just on. I got distracted by. Sandra got distracted by Asmodeus.
Fair enough.
Krampus was not as good.
I mean, roll for each of the knowledge rolls individually.
all right. So Krampus was a 31.
On what? Arcane, Planes, or History?
Oh, Krampus on Plains was a 31. I should roll for History and Arcana too.
Yes.
Okay. Arcana is a 38. And History is History's 33.
Sounds good. So you guys put your heads together about Krampus for a little while, and you guys put together the big picture. Clementine, as the story goes on, you realize exactly why Krampus was so cruel to you. Druids created Krampus.
Well, we fucked that one up real bad.
Real fucking bad. Some very short-sighted circle leader was disappointed at the irregular offerings of their congregation, and so, in his bitter spite, conjured forth a creature that would make sure that the rituals were performed properly and promptly. And after being slain by the terrible creature, Krampus was born.
Jesus.
And so Krampus is both fae and devil. As such, he is able to travel across all the planes. He's able to travel much more quickly than mortal creatures. And he has a vast array of magical powers at his disposal, and he sees naughtiness and wickedness wherever he goes. He seems to be in Asmodeus' employ, and for that you should be pretty thankful. Because left to his own devices, he would stomp around the wintry countryside, punishing naughty children. But the thing is, all he sees is sin.
Oh.
Get
Okay.
cramped, yo.
Okay.
So it's essentially like a minor demon lord.
Sort of, except he has no following, cannot gain one, and is sort of really sort of selfish and maniacal. He's almost more demonic than devilish, but he's definitely devil in creation.
Also, Solandra, Clementine has white eyes, so do what you will with that.
Both of them are white?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her
Drow.
drow heritage has come more to the forefront.
Yeah, basically, upon getting to the Underdark, her eyes just kind of went white, and now she has dark vision.
The remainder of the Druidic Circle managed to locate the creature as it slept and shackled it in cold iron chains, believing it still retained a part of its fey nature and that these chains would be able to bind it. They were wrong. 3-word sentence. They were wrong. When Krampus awoke, the creature tore free from its restraints and with terrible anger used the same chains to beat the druids to death. It then retreated into the snow-blanketed forest for the remainder of the season. Krampus returns year after year, growing stronger and more hideous with each winter solstice and gaining a taste for human flesh. Even its periodic death at the hands of heroes do nothing to stop this cycle. Fortunately, while it could ravage the countryside all year long, for some reason it chooses to limit its predations to the winter months. Where it goes the rest of the year, no one has been able to discover.
So I'm kind of curious. I mean, given the circumstances that you lost the hell, and what if it came back jet black? Kind of interesting looking. I don't know if you want it.
Well, I don't think my eye is physically in hell. I think my eye was mostly down the side of my face.
Oh, if the eye was still there, then I could shove it back in. That's much more effective.
Still, if there's enough volcano glass in the wound, it could cause it to come back wrong, if you wish it. Otherwise, it will simply be normal.
I'm gonna leave that up to
Well, Solandra will try to bring it back what it was before. So.
Okay.
But she may not. She's not. Her healing, I believe, score is -1. Just remember.
Just do your best, Solandra. I'm sure that as long as I have an eye, I really don't care what color it is.
I mean, basically, her solution to the problem has been of healing has been, I will open a channel to the positive energy plane and just dump it in.
Just keep pumping in more gas.
Listening to them talk about Krampus and just sitting quietly, trying not to think too hard.
If you can earn Krampus's respect, he will grant you a wish. Whatever your heart's desire. Don't fuck it up, idiot. Anyway, now that that's occurred, how's about that for session?
Damn. Fuck yeah. That was fucking great, dude.
That was off the goddamn chain.
No, it was on the goddamn.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Everybody gets 10,000 experience points for a fantastic session. Dave, thank you for indulging me. I'm sorry you didn't get to do much.
No, it's fine. Like I said, it was payback for the rival road trip.
The Rivo road trip. Get on the party train.
Choo choo.
Choo choo.
Clementine, if only you had abandoned Holt, the things you would have learned.
I don't think I wanted to learn any of those things.
No, but if you had abandoned Holt, you wouldn't have gone with him. You were the one who was like, nah, I gotta bring him up. I gotta hold on.
Power of friendship.
Power of friendship. The power of friends compels you.
A lot of things compelled me to do